These jobs are so unimportant, you don't even get to look at them. Wood shop, metal shop, auto shop, all those things. We just took them right out. We arbitraged them right out of the curricula.
We did that on top of telling a generation of 3, 4, and 5, and 6-year-old, especially little boys, you're the problem. If you can't sit still and shut your mouth for 8 hours and do this worksheet, you are the problem. You need to be pumped full of medication. You need to be set out aside because you're the issue.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? What's up? Yeah, right. You guys ladies ever cut the cheese? I love that. The Italian guy goes, nah, they don't do it right. That's just awesome. They don't cut the cheese right. They don't do it right. Want to pull my finger? That's a Bud Light commercial. Yeah, Micro nailed it, but now they're going off after the ladies. For the ladies. Let me bring this mic in a little bit. My friend Liz, her youngest one, like, she's creative, right? Well, both of the girls are creative and very smart. But the younger one is more rambunctious and stuff, and, they want to medicate her because she can't sit still, right? Because she's, dreaming out the window, whatever. She's just bored with the curriculum because the curriculum is loser. It's been like that for a while. Bravo, hey, Johnny Bravo says he's just now recovering from a heart attack and stroke today. Dude, you're alive, and that's awesome. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. So let's everybody send out a little prayer for Johnny Bravo. That's got to be tough. That must be scary. Watching Alabama playing Auburn, nice. Well, that might give you a heart attack if you put the money on the wrong people. Be careful, bro. How do you have a heart attack and a stroke and be on here? That is like crazy. I'm just glad you are, but oh my God, I can't even think about that. Wow. It's a good thing you're still here, bro. Damn. Yeah, we're going to take a look at Uncle Mark's channel a little bit before we get started. Now, Doc is here. Hey, Arch. Hey, Doc, I was watching some of your stuff earlier. Actually, it's weird, come to think of it. It's kind of comment, but I get in the way, right? Like, sometimes when I watch some of these YouTube videos, let me pull this off for a minute. I get in the way, like I'm sitting back, I'm like laying back like this, right? And my daughter gave me this nice blanket last year. Oh, she was so mad because she's like, why don't you put that blanket on you, Dad? What blanket, T? Well, the blanket I got you last year. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Well, the plaid one. I said, what does plaid mean? What is plaid? She goes, like the boxes and the stripes. I'm like, oh, what color was it, right? And she's getting mad. I'm like, well, maybe it's upstairs in my closet or something. So I get to sitting back like that, and like the keyboard is like all the way out of the way, and I got to sit up, and I just get all mad and cranky, and I'm like, F it, next video, right? Let me check this one out now, next video. So I just start like binge watching everybody's videos and stuff, and I just don't comment. There's a couple of fellas that I really need to comment on because I really like generally speaking, I like I don't watch it if I don't like it, so I need to comment. And I'm so bad. I'm as bad as everybody else, right? Typical YouTube watcher I am. Let me catch up. As he probably says, joke, it's a joke, man. Game wasn't, oh, okay. Because I'm like, what the hell, bro? Don't joke about stuff like that at our age, man. You can't be doing that. That ain't right. Robert says Auburn was ahead 24-20 till the last 43 seconds. Bama pulled it out in the end. I don't have my Bama shirt on. It's over there. Nail biter, yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't watch anything anymore, it seems like, except for YouTube. Well, I don't have a TV. Doc says, that was a good game. Yeah, huh? Yeah, I don't have a TV anymore. I just have these monitors and I just have internet. So I don't pay for anybody's subscriptions or anything. I don't have the money. I'm like, heck with it. I remember, by the way, when cable first came out, I was really young. And then when I got my apartment together and my lady was like, let's get cable. And it was like $20 a month. And I was like, that's a ripoff. Because TV used to be free. And I'm like, that's a ripoff. I can't afford that. What is it now? It's like hundreds of dollars or something between cable and your internet and your phone. You're like $200 a month. That's insane. Although, cable is one thing, but internet's another. So anyway, we've got a couple of cool things today. What's in the box? Swag, fellas. We're going to check out some swag in a little bit. So our friend, channel friend, TJ, he's in here. I want a big shout out to TJ because TJ set us up, really. Well, set me up with testing some swag. And I saw the pictures and I was like, that looks really cool. So we're going to open up that box in a little bit. I'm going to check this out. He did a really good job from the pictures, but we're going to get our faces on it in a little bit. And I think before we get started with everything else, too, I have some other things I wanted to show you, fellas. And I also wanted to talk about, I got some links. And so I put out a video on that Red Max blower. And I'm wondering if, where is he? Oh, where's Brett? Because Brett, I got to find, after we watch a little bit of Uncle Mark's stuff, we're going to cruise through Uncle Mark's page in a little bit. But then Brett had some ideas and a question. And I'm wondering he was going to maybe make a video or something. I was trying to like schmooze him into making a video for tonight so we could watch it on his page, but I don't know. He hasn't come here yet. Maybe when he comes in, we'll find out if he did. If not, then it'll be another time. But yeah, he's got some good ideas. So in that Red Max video, I wanted to talk a little bit more about that and show you guys some links that I did not put in the video description. So I'll probably go back and put these links in there. One of the things that I'm very suspicious of is the plug, because I felt like it was having some issues with not having consistent spark. And Ken Small Engines, I'm not sure exactly what happened, but he was working on a Coil for a customer, and he wasn't getting any spark. And he kind of like tweaked over the engine, rebuilt it, whatever. And then he's out there testing it, and it's like not sparking. I think it was the plug been shorting internally. So the problem with the blower is, the biggest problem with any blower, especially like a Red Max blower, that's a really nice machine, is the coil is in the backpack. It's behind like the blower and everything inside the housing. And these customers, they just, as I said in the end of that video, is they just will not spend any money. They're consumers, and that video was really more about why, the title being why a consumer really shouldn't buy like a professional piece of equipment. They don't get any benefit from it. They don't get the benefit from it. So to take all that apart to test a coil with an ohm meter, that would be something maybe you would do if you determine that, let's say you maybe had a spark issue and maybe it's a two-stroke, so maybe there was some issues in there and the sealing of the cylinders and the rings, which I suspect that might have been a problem as well. So what do? You don't want to take everything apart because you'll never get that money back. And if the customer says, like he said, time out, no, I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on this thing, you have to put it back together again, because customers do not like it when you are like, yeah, I checked out your machine, and by the way, I broke a bolt in it, and here. And you give them a box of parts back, and they just, no. So you have to spend all this time taking things apart, putting it back together again, for them to ultimately say, time out, I don't want to fix it, even though it's worthy of fixing. I don't want to fix it. You screwed yourself. So some of the tools I want to show you, fellas, and that we can talk about tonight are a couple of them are a little pricey, a couple of them are really cheap, like the ones I showed in the video. But I think over time, whether you want to fix your own machines as you come across them, or you want to maybe tinker around and do some other people's machines. I want to catch up like Doc, right? Doc doesn't really do lawnmowers, but he does some tractors, and he does all these other engine-related things. You kind of want to find out sometimes if something's intermittent, right? Doing the spark plug test may not really tell you what you want to know. And sometimes even putting an ohm meter on it may not tell you what you really want to know. And then there's the one where many of us know that if a machine starts up and seems to run fine, but then as soon as it gets warm, in about 5 or 10 minutes on a warm day, the machine shuts off. It seems like it has no spark. And you might test it by pulling the plug out or something and laying the plug on the head, and it might spark. but that's because it's in open air. It's not under load or anything. So some of these engines, when the coil may start going under load, it might fall apart, shut off, not work anymore, and then you're kind of confused as to, well, what's happening? Now, if it's a machine that you've been using for a long time and you took care of it, you have history on it. But like this guy with the Red Max blower, he dropped it in the pool and it sucked all that water in, and it's really not running, and then it's running, and then it's not running at all, and then I can't get it started. And, you know, you don't know the history. A lot of the machines I get, I don't know any of the history. Let me catch up to you fellas. So that's the kind of thing where I think some of these tools over time, like I want to, you know, one of the things I want to do is like sort of replace a couple of my tools, which I got to go get in a bit. I wanted to show you guys that. We'll do that in a little bit. My old compression gauges and stuff. So some of this stuff is like, it's not really expensive, but some of it is getting to be close to $69, $80, $100, but they might be really good to have in your toolkit. Hey, let me catch up. Let's see. I gotta scroll up. Let me see. Wow, you guys are chatting away over here. Okay. Yeah, so we were chatting earlier. Uncle Mark's got an issue with a fuel line. Automotive Fixer Channel, you have a perfect radio voice. Has anyone told you that? Yes, thank you, Mark. Yeah, no, they haven't said perfect, but, you know, who was it? Who was the guy? I was on Ken Small Engines, and I forget his name. The guy that does like repairs and everything is like hugely popular, and he's got all the beer rack behind him. I think lives up in Canada or whatever. He's like, the dude sounds like a radio announcer. I don't know if that's a good thing. Let's see, just recovering I'm playing with Marks, fix the channel. Oh no, that's Johnny Bravo. Doc Holiday says, hey, watch us live. Johnny Bravo's joke. That's a bad joke, bro. That was just not nice. Auburn was ahead. Doc Holiday says, that was a good game. Let's see, Bleach PC. What's up, Bleach? Sup, everyone? How was your Thanksgiving holiday? Mine was good. Hope everybody's Thanksgiving holiday was good. Mine was pretty good. It was just the three of us. We hung out, had some really, really good turkey. And the girls made like this incredible apple pie. And I don't know, maybe it was the lemon zest that they scraped into it or something, but it was really, really good. Like later on, if it's not gone later on after the show, I might even hurry up the show because I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I just want to get a little bit more of that. And usually they make like 2 pies, but this time they only made 1. So I've been struggling not to just glom it all down because I'll get in trouble if I do that. Bleach says, by the way, speaking of, Bleach says, everyone know that you think every day. How you feeling, Bleach? Because I know you weren't feeling too good. TJ says, hey, John, audio on your video is really incredible. Looks and sounds amazing. Thanks, TJ. Bleach says, hope you're feeling better. Bravo says, feel perfect, Bleach. Game almost drove me to drinking today. Yeah, especially like you said, if you put money on it. Doc says, Holiday Customs says, I was just thinking the other day I needed to get some pressure gauges. Yeah, and I have some nice ones, but they're older. And the other thing, too, is the Schrader valves that are on them are, if any of you guys know where to get those Schrader valves from, because they're not tire pressure Schrader valves. They have a different pressure cracking point. And we used to be able to, like Snap-on used to sell the Schrader valves, and then they realized that was stupid because the valves are the things that usually go. And, of course, Snap-on gets a fortune for everything, as good as it is. And they were like, no, everybody just wants you to buy like a new gauge. The only place I didn't try was McMaster Car. I didn't look there. But that's one of the biggest problems with my gauges is that those valves are shot. And there's 2 different ones. There's one on the bottom and then there's one on the side that you press to relieve the pressure. So the one on the side or towards the top can be a high pressure valve like in a tire or something. But the one down below has got to be different. Let's see, you need to get some pressure gauges. By the way, I got a replacement cylinder pistons and rods today to fix my dad's 1940 Johnson. I haven't seen that one yet. I got to check that one out. That's another one I want to do. I haven't got back to that. I don't know what's going on with that yet. I haven't seen that. Bleach is swearing at us now. He says he's going to clean and organize his garage Thursday. My cold is much better. Still coughing though, right? Bleach, you better do it. You should put a little bit of it on, like make like a not a short vertical video. Well, you can do that too, but you know, like a 10-minute like video, of you just kind of panning around, showing us the mess. And then what would really be cool is if you had something like where you panned around and then later when you're kind of done, do the same kind of pan and throw it in an editor and like blend the two together to where like as you're swinging, it might even be good to like you swing this way, right? And you see it before and then it kind of stutters a little bit and you continue moving, but it's the now. You move a little bit and then it shudders a little bit and then it's like this area here like before and then a little bit more and then it's like the now and like you get like all the way around or whatever, some weird concept like a dream, right? Maybe like a dream where you get it all dreamy. Like this is what it looks like now and I'm dreaming about having my garage all sweet and clean and everything. Something like that, just as an idea. That would be cool. That would be a lot of fun to do something like that. This is, let's see, Mark says, oh yeah, Steve Small Engines. Yeah, he's in British Columbia. Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Yeah, he was like, he sounds like a radio announcer. Let's see. What did he say? Yeah, I'm terrible in there. Yeah, you got to clean it. Bleach has this kind of cool garage area and everything, and it's like, it's so underutilized, you know. I mean, when I was real young, I had a garage for a little bit, and then I kind of turned it into an apartment, and then eventually kind of like took over my parents' house for a little bit, and then got rid of that, and you know, to take care of my mom after my father died, and then kind of my sister got it, and then I moved here, and for the longest time, I just worked outside, you know, outside. I made a little work area, kind of like the work area I have out there. By the way, my mother's table broke, a leg broke off of it. That was actually my mother's picnic table that I do a lot of cleaning and stuff on. So I'd made like this cool outside area, and then I made these cabinets for an air compressor and a welder, and then I made a really cool work table, and then eventually I leveled the area off, put some sand down and some patio block. The driveway was on an angle. It was all pocked and everything, so I kind of like filled it in with some concrete. And I put up a little shed and some other like outside storage, but I did have like a crawl space that I could bury some stuff in. And that's how I worked for years, right? Until I rebuilt this place. So that was the other thing I wanted to show you fellas. So I think before we get started with Uncle Mark's, I wanted to show you a couple of, so in one of the videos I was just working on, it's just a crappy, you know, shop video of how to like rekey some lock cylinders, whatever. But I was talking about what the shop looked like when I got here. So while I was talking about that, I'm like, I like to put a little B-roll over the top just because nobody knows what the hell I'm talking about unless I show you. So let me show you a couple of pics of what the shop looked like all those years ago when I moved in. So let me get that out of the way first. And let me bring up the right monitor. And we're going to kind of cruise around. Give me a second. I'm going to set it up. I think you guys would be interested to see it. Now, yeah, here we go. Here we go. So, and it's actually getting kind of beat now, too. So it needs work. So that's why I've been doing some stuff to it lately. And the house needs work as well. So there's no video or anything. It's just pics. And it's me taking my camera and taking a picture of a picture. So I didn't even scan it in or anything. Let's see. Let's see what Bleach says. I want to catch up. Uncle Mark says, he has an actor do his intro, trying to think who that is. Is it that girl from the Dead zombie movie, whatever that he knows? I don't know. I haven't watched his stuff lately. Mostly because he's got like a really awesome fix it, trying to do it yourself kind of, how to. But my thing is I already know how to do a lot of stuff. So not everything, but I tend to want to watch like project videos where somebody gets deep into a project and gets in over their head. And I also like to watch Musty and Diesel Creek and a bunch of others. And so there's a bunch of cool people I'd like to see. Let's see. Bleach says, did you see the comment about 59% of women watching my YouTube? I'm happy. Wow, bro. Because I get like 4%. That's awesome. No, I didn't see that. That's cool. That is so cool. Yeah, Bleach is like the icon. He's like the chick magnet. At 59%, that's like chick magnet. That's really cool. I have no idea how to organize my garage. It's cold and it may take weeks. It doesn't matter how long it takes, bro. I do a little bit here and there. Just do something. I always start by throwing the garbage out and then grab some boxes and take the loose stuff that's been kicking around your floor. Like gravity does this thing where everything winds up on the floor, right? So just grab some stuff and that's on the floor and throw them in boxes. You know, could be cardboard boxes, like double tape the bottom, throw some extra cardboard on the bottom so they don't tear right away. And if you really feel ambitious, you can label the box with a magic marker, but you don't even have to. Then clear off a work table, right? And clean the floor a little bit. And then sit back and, you know, puff a doob or whatever, or have a cigarette or whatever, and then go look at it and go, it's a little bit better. It's a little cleaner. There's some stuff. All right, there's some stuff in boxes or whatever. And then anything that you're not going to use within the next 2 to 3 years, that you're really not going to use it, if it's sellable, throw it in a separate box and put it up on Facebook Marketplace or something. And put it outside in a pile. Find a place that you could make a pile if you could put it outside. If you can't put it outside because it's too much, you know, start fresh, right? Any of your machines that you're like, you know what, I'm not going to do this. This is either above me or I've lost interest. Put that in a pile, right? Take pics, get it for sale. And then anything that you think that is just absolutely garbage, like really, you're looking at it and you're like, what am I doing with this? Bolts, by the way, any kind of bolt nut, get a nice box. Coffee cans, just start separating and shove it in there. Put everything washers with washers. Who cares what it is? Bolts with bolts. Whatever. Stuff like that. Those are tips. That's kind of what I do. Yeah. Most women's my age are dead already. Yeah, I hear you. Those Walmart plastic totes are my favorite. Yeah, definitely bleach. And the doc says, lady killer. Laugh a little. 1% of my views are women. Pretty sure it's my sister, though. So no excitement for me, right? No joy. I hear you. I think the 2% is my daughter, right? Because you guys know. Hey, Christina, I don't know if you're out. She's probably, actually, I think she's out with her friend Alexis. Hey, Christina. All right. So that's the one of the 2%. And the other one occasionally is my friend Liz. And I'll tell you a quick story. But she doesn't listen, right? So this is the story. So it was like a year ago. And I was just about to hit like 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, that's what it was. And I was so close. And I had called her up that week, or just texted her. I'm like, oh, I'm almost at like 1,000 subscribers. I think I got like, I don't know, like 990 something. She's like, oh, okay. That's good. She's very supportive. So then this one night I'm watching it and it's like 999 and then whatever it was. And I woke up in the morning and I come out here and I sit down. And I'm like, oh, it's like 1,002 subscribers or 1,001 subscribers. So I text her or something and I'm like, I just hit like 1,000 subscribers. And I'm all happy and I'm excited. I'm not really paying attention to the text. And she wrote in something like, yeah, I know. And I'm going on and on and on and on in the text, you know, because I was really happy because I finally hit like 1,000 subs. Yeah, this is like last year. And then finally I'm like, wait a minute. What do you mean you know? What is this you know? Because like I've known it for like 20 years. I'm like, something's up. What does this mean you know? All right, hold on, let me catch up. The bleach says, my toolbox had a bolt drawer. Yeah, no, get that out of there, bro. Put tools in your toolbox. If you have extra toolboxes, by all means, right? Throw bolts. But if you just have one or two, get your bolts in coffee cans and stuff like that, and get your tools up off the floor on the work table and organize your tools. That is not allowed yet, right? Uncle Mark says, I think 1 to 4% are women too. You normally don't see me until the end of the videos. He goes, outro and bloopers. Nice. And I bet they're waiting with bated breath to see. Leach says, I'd be like, I did not know my garage had a flaw. Yes, yeah. I'm telling you, bro. Just uncovering your flaw is huge. Seriously, it makes you feel better. It really does. Mark says, I'm not a babe magnet either, but I have a great wife, 38 years. Awesome. Yeah, lock that down. So to get back to the story, so I'm like, wait a minute now. So I text back, I'm like, what do you mean? Yeah, I know. So she writes back, she says, well, I couldn't sleep. So I was up really early and I made a whole bunch of accounts and I subscribed to your Archer's Garage. And I was like, I had actually mixed emotions about that for a minute. I'm like, what? What did you do? She goes, yeah, I made all these accounts and I subbed to get you over 1,000. And first I was like, but wait a minute, I want to do this organically. Like, I that was like cheating. And so fortunately, I'm getting better, okay? Because I didn't write anything like that. And I thought to a minute, I'm like, all right, hold on. Now, what do I write? Do I say thank you? I mean, obviously, yeah, but I'm like, but that was like cheating, you know? And I'm like, what did you do? So I said thank you, and I was very happy. But I did have that weird mixed emotion that was very nice. And then I was over there not that long after that or whatever. And she asked me, she goes, if you put up a video of yours, because you get the commercials finally or whatever. I think I hit all the numbers to get the commercials. And I leave a video up, but I turn the sound down. Does that count to views and maybe commercials? I said, yeah, I don't see why not. She goes, well, what if it's minimized? I'm like, well, what do you mean if it's minimized? She's like, well, I'm like, what are you doing? What's going on in your head? She's like, all right, well, because she works on the computer a lot with medical processing and all the other stuff that she does in scheduling. And what she'll do is she'll bring up my show, start a video, turn the volume off, and then minimize it and just like let an entire like playlist play to see if she can get me credit and to help out. I'm like, that is like really sweet. I'm like, I don't know if that actually works. I guess it does. I don't see why it wouldn't. But that is like really sweet. So that's the other of the 2%. And it's probably the second one of the 2%, which is really kind of nice. And, you know, because she's not going to really want to watch me or anything. But I thought that was really cool. All right, let me catch up before I get to the next part. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, Brett's here. See, we were talking about you earlier. Hold on. Yeah, so I got Uncle Mark. So Brett says, hey, guys. So, yeah, we were talking about you earlier, Brett. Did you, because you had some questions and you had a really good idea. Did you make that video, Brett? I'm going to bust his chops. Let's see how long I can smoke this for. All right, putting it out. Let's see if I can get, like, I don't know, half hour out of it. Let's see. Bravo says, holy cow, I used to be pretty hot cars, motorcycles back in the 70s. I was a badass back then. Now I look like an accountant. Nice. Yeah, same here. Uncle Mark says, laugh aloud, Johnny Bravo. Bleach says, I have 7 snappers now. I think no one wants to buy them. Might just keep the parts. Yeah. Yeah, because you can throw out the frames and stuff and just condense everything. I do that. You guys know I do that. I'm always parting stuff out. I parted some stuff out like the past couple of weeks. I've got a row of stuff ready to go into the garbage, right, to give to Juan. So what's the point? You know, at some point it just gets to be too much. You're not going to do anything with it. It's just clutter. If you actually, what I'll do is I'll rinse the machines off. And like Henry says, Henry Murowski, right? I talk about him a lot. You guys probably know him, you know, big dog. He's like, I like what you do. He's like, you clean everything first, even your parts. He's like, you give them a quick wash and then you put your parts away. You know, I like doing that because when I'm in the middle of doing something, they're relatively organized and I'm in the middle of doing something and I'm like, ooh, I think I got that part and I can take it out. It might need a little finish cleaning, but it's not with insects and gross crap. And we get raccoons literally shit on my stuff out there. So it doesn't have any of that on it. Let's see. Yeah, I like that idea. Bleach says, I need a wife. I just hope I meet the right person. And Bravo says, wives are expensive, man. Yeah, tell me about it because I just divorced one. I'm hoping to find a new future ex-wife, though, you know. I mean, it's only money, right? I'm like totally broke from all that. I don't think I'll ever climb out of that hole. Seriously. Especially when they get the lawyers involved because the lawyers are the ones that are the real, they're the ones that win. Like, she knows that now, but I'm like, you don't do that. The only time you hire a lawyer is when they're actually working for you and you want them to do something very specific and you're going to win from this totally, but you don't ever bring it to bear really against like your ex. It's just a dumb thing to do unless they're going to kill you, right? That's different. My wife is the one that is not the spender. Yeah, well, I think that kind of happens. Doc says, well, all right, Arch, got to go back in. I'm in Alabama in the family's house. I saw you alive, and I figured to sneak out and have a smoke. That's just so cool. I'll watch the playback tomorrow. All right, cool, Doc. Definitely cool. Mark says, I usually am buying another vehicle to repair. Yeah, but that's different. That's for your channel and for your sanity, and it keeps you happy. And, I'm sure your channel's pretty big, so you should be making some coin out of that by now. All right, let me bring up the other monitor. Let's see. Bring up the right monitor. Where do you guys see this? All right, let's see. Okay. So just a quick. So this is kind of, I did this on Thanksgiving. There's Mr. Dog. She's getting tired. All this T111. I didn't save the pictures of when I first put the T111 up. It was beautiful. That's beat. I got to take all of that stuff off the front, re-T111 it, fix a leak, a couple of leaks, and put everything back new because it's just shot. Just shot. All right, let's go to the next one. All right, so this was like in the 90s or whatever. This was just a barn, like a horse barn. The garage part on the right actually came from Fort Upton, which is now called Brookhaven National Labs, BNL, right? It was just a garage back when like World War II, when they were staging the troops there to go overseas. They had a lot of little buildings there and whatever, and materials were getting scarce. So the property owner wanted to expand the barn. And in those days, they were always moving stuff around. So they just moved this garage and attached it to this big barn thing on the left. It had a wood floor, and it had a hatch down to a basement. And that's where they used to keep the booze during Prohibition that came in from the bay, and the shore. And this was one of the places they would keep a bit, a few cases for the locals. And the guy was known as they owned the house, 1920s, was known as a square dance caller, right? I guess that's what they called them, right? He was like the drug dude, right, up the block back in the day, right? Your dealer, except it was for booze. And I guess everybody would hang out in here and dance and get stupid. It was probably kind of cool little place. That was the back of it, right? It was just absolutely falling down. Somebody put like a wall back here. There was an extension back here. This all the way back, this whole section back here was just off limits. Like you couldn't get to anything. You had to clear everything. It was all completely overgrown. It was an absolute mess. The building was falling down, and a tree had shoved it over and pushed it over, and it dropped about a foot on one side. So what I did was I took the walls out and held up the ceiling, the roof, with these big stanchions and flying buttresses. And then I drove the backhoe in there, and I got rid of the tree. I got rid of the stump, and we put a new foundation in. It needed a new foundation. I was going to put concrete. I probably should have. But a lot of what I was doing at that time in the shop, it was more comfortable to put an insulated floor in. So that's my X. And that's that whole wall that's missing. And you can see we ripped up all of the wood, all of the decking, all of the joists, right? See, these are some more stanchions. So I'm in there trying to get rid of this thing. That's a cool little terramite. I like those. They're kind of good for like my size property. I would like to have one of those. I dug trenches with it. Did all kinds of cool stuff with that thing. Here's some flying buttresses and some stands to hold it up until I could make what I needed to make. That was kind of cool. And then we started putting in the floor. We got the footing in. We put the floor back. And these big lumber pieces, they came from a lace mill. the lace mill up the block from me made one of the first American flags with the 13 colonies and everything. That's what they used to do. It was water powered by a stream and a lake not too far from, like, behind my house a ways. So when they tore that down, I went over there and I bought a whole bunch of brick and some really old, cool, wooden frame members. And here's the walls going back up. The deck is down. And that's the back wall that you saw earlier, right? We took all that down. I wanted to have a party and set up the band because I was in a band at the time. There's a couple of them. And I just wanted, like, why don't we set up the band here and just, like, have everybody mull around and we could just play. I thought that was pretty cool. Let's see, where's my headset now? What do I do with my headset? I gotta get ready to go to the next thing. Am I coming back? All right, let's see. Let me close this out for the moment. Still adjusting my headset. All right, let me catch up with you guys. Let's see. Why they're expensive? Yeah. Let's see. My wife is the one that is not the spender. Doc says good night. Mark says I'm usually buying another vehicle. Bleach says one snapper comment I have with fat tires. There is grinding in the rear, and when I shift into gear, so it's part my do rear end swap. I'm not sure if I have a capable replacement. Oh yeah, if it's all beat. I was just daydreaming when you were telling me about that, and I was thinking about how you have a bunch of snapper frames, and I'm thinking, wait a minute now. The heck with that stupid transmission that's back there. If you got some old snapper frames, if you have a welder, why don't you put a go-kart rear frame, make like a go-kart rear frame, mount the engine sideways, drop a chain down, hook it to a freaking axle, and have the whole back go-kart style and the whole front of it, right, snapper style. That would be serious, boys. Maybe they should do that. Throw out the lawnmower thing. That would look really cool. Imagine that. I've never seen anything like that. I'd throw out that transmission and put, a clutch and everything on it. Yeah. Yeah, that would be kind of cool. And would have like that pivoting style front thing. Yeah, I don't see why you couldn't do something like that. Maybe sling it down a little bit lower, try to lower the seat down a little bit. Cutting torch and all. See, please says, I farted in my garage once and abundance of stuff fell. Oh, yeah. How'd you do that? Your ex is pretty hard. Thank you, bro. I don't know. I learned when I was younger, one of the things I thought when I was a kid was I always wanted to learn everything. And they told me I couldn't. And they would laugh at me. And they would say, you can't learn everything. I said, all right, so, well, maybe I'll learn a lot. Maybe I'll learn a lot of things. And they laughed at me again, and they said, you can't. And I thought, well, that's just ridiculous. I'm like, well, if it takes me the rest of my life, what's the difference? And they're like, no. I'm like, what do you mean, no? I was just like, what are you talking about? I never really believed a lot of my teachers and stuff. Some of them were awesome. But as time went on, I was like, well, let me try this now. Let me try this now. So I would read, and I had a lot of really good teachers as well. And I just basically learned construction, and I did construction, and I did plumbing, and I did electric, and I took courses in electronics, and I took courses, and I did a lot of coding and HVAC and auto mechanics and aircraft mechanics, and I was just like, but this is all, and I even got involved in some medicine and some other stuff. And I'm like, this is all like really the same, really. It like really is. So when we kind of like went to look at the garage, one of the problems is that the property is narrow. It's really long, but it's narrow. And the building code said I had to leave up like 30% of the building at any one moment in time. Otherwise, if I tore down too much of it, they would not let me put it back the way it was, where it was. And that would have been a problem. It would have been nice because I could have designed a whole new shop But I really didn't want to do that. And that would have taken a lot longer because then you can't spread the money out over time. Whereas I thought, well, I could spread the money out over time and do sections at a time as budget permitted. And that's really the only way I could do it. So I had to keep the roof up. Not only did I have to keep the roof up, but I had to shove the roof and the bulk of the building over this way. In this corner had dropped a foot right over here. So I had to lift it, and it was racked. It was doing this and falling. So I had to lift it up and unrack it. And the wood is old. So what I would do is I made a wall over here, and I made anchor points in the ground. And we used some of the anchor points for the footings for the floor. And then I ran come-alongs in different spots up to the roof line, up to the upper plate. And I put jacks, hydraulic jacks in the corners and other places. And I would beef it up. I would pull on the come-alongs, and then I would kind of shove and pull the building up and over. And I shot a line level up here, a laser level, and I would spray the whole building down with water and let it soak, and then pull on the come-alongs and pull on the jack. And that day, that one pic where you see where I'm with my friend and we're lifting the building up a little bit more to put the wall up over here, and the building is screaming and cracking, and you hear it. Like the wood is old. It's old. It's hard. This is like everything on this property is made out of like old growth Southern style pine is what it really was. Very dense, very hard, but it was getting brittle. So some of it was bent. The tree it fell on the roof. So some of the rafters were bent and they were fighting me. So I would cut them a little bit and notch them. One of them snapped, actually. I think one or two of them snapped while I was lifting the building. And I would just hose everything down and I would like come here and crank on stuff until the building groaned. I'd measure my progress and then I would leave it. And in those days, for like 7 years, I didn't even live here most of the time. I was living up in Connecticut and working up there, and I made pretty good money. And then I would come back and do stuff at home and hang out at home and do some work at home and fool with the building. And I used to call my ex-wife, and I used to say to her, we'd have like a wicked storm, whatever, and I'd call her up. I'm like, is the building still standing, or did it fall down in the middle of the night? She goes, no, it's still there. Like, all right. Yeah, she gave me a hand a little bit with it. She definitely did. All right, let me catch up. Let's see. Lee says, I would love to make a snapper go-kart. Seen that done on YouTube. I have no idea. I'm going to have to like Google that at some point. He says, I learned by videos and books. Yeah, we didn't have videos back in the day. There were like how-to books and there were how-to videos, not online, but you could buy them, It's a lot of fun. I like construction. Now I can't do any because I broke my back doing, working like a madman for so long. And that screwed me up for over 10 years. I'm lucky I can walk. So the other thing I wanted to do, okay, is let's check out some YouTube stuff here. All right, we'll check out Mark's channel, and then we're gonna open up some swag. Hold on. All right, so I got rid of the echo. So now if I can get the audio right, I should be able to play a video and I can make my stupid comments over it without all the echo. So let's see. I want to see the desulfator. I just want to cruise around. Let's check out, do battery desulfators work? So this is Uncle Mark's DIY Automotive Fix-It channel. And he's got 16.1 thousand subs. That's awesome. On 491 videos. That's huge, bro. That's huge. It's nice. Congrats. Let's check this one out. Let me cue it up. Oh, this is a good commercial. Let's see. Let's skip it.
Here, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel,
turn them up.
Hopefully you're going to be pleasantly surprised.
Let's see.
I was working on, I got my old F-150. I've had a few people complain in some of the videos.
Oh, I like the F-150s.
Really slowly. It's like, yeah, I know it needs a battery, but kind of nursing it along. So, see advertiser on the web, these kind of things that can fix, batteries that are kind of...
Yeah, welders and stuff.
Battery. Sulficator, is that what it's called?
Oh, Malaxicam. Yeah, I haven't tried that.
$50, $60, whatever it is, maybe less, maybe more. I'll put a link in the description as to the one I used. And it looked like it was fairly fancy. It does a little more.
So there's a link in the
Let's
description.
see how it does on 2 batteries I've got. 2 batteries that are working right now. One's quite old, one's a lot newer. See if we could get the cranking amps, whole cranking amps up by using them. That would be the purpose of buying this tool.
Nice. Let's check it out. I've tried some of this stuff, but very mixed results. You know? I mean, I think sometimes you can save a battery.
So the first battery is out of my F-150.
Yeah, that's right,
It's
Brett.
an old battery. It's about 8 years old. It's got about 31,000 miles on it. Yeah, it's even the little green light there. It should be green, that little clear thing there, or red. It's neither.
I need one of these.
So we'll do a little battery test here. We'll
I definitely need one.
It's unhooked. Yes, you do cold cranking amps. I'll get it down to what it's supposed to be.
Oh,
I'll put a link in the
Awesome,
description
Bleach.
for this battery analyzer. It works
Congrats.
not bad. Yeah, like for, just home use kind of thing. I don't think if I was a battery shop, you'd get a little better one. This one's rated at 750, so we'll put it there just that way it knows, okay, it's supposed to be whatever. So it says it's 750, but it's only measuring 535. So it's down. Still got 13 volts, but
that's still okay.
I know I should have gloves on. But
Let's see if you can freshen up this battery.
did this a couple times without gloves, and you
They're expensive now, so
kind of stuff in it you have to wash off. Kind of dangerous. So be careful if you're doing something like sparks can also cause an explosion.
batteries aren't dangerous. People
And eye
are.
protection in case you splash this stuff or there's a little explosion. You must take this off because there will be pressure coming out of the battery. So for me, I thought, since they're fairly easy to remove.
I'll check out the one you're suggesting in a bit. I wanted to see this one.
Compared to the rest of them.
I always get a kick out of these, like
Nah,
trying to fix batteries video. I was gonna make one, but I
this is a good
sucked
idea
at
'cause
it.
It actually comes up on its own a little later.
I was like, I'm not putting that out. I suck. Ooh, look at this thing.
Machine that I got supposed to be able to do that. It's a charger plus.
I think I've seen one of these.
The batteries got that mode, I guess you can call it. There's a couple different kinds of batteries.
It does it really?
I'll go
Oh,
through what the
great.
battery type is. So I plugged it into AC wall current, and it takes about 16 hours for this thing to do its little conditioning or whatever it's doing.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
So you can go between lithium or lead batteries and some other kind of a battery, and then the repair mode. So that's what I'm in, actually going to be in the repair mode. It's actually saying DES.
Which means disulfate,
Desulfate.
I guess. Yeah.
Desulfation. You know what I mean.
Desulfator.
So let it take
Desulfating.
its little thing. And as you can see, it's doing its little cycling, whatever it's doing. And the wind is winter. It's cold in here. I forget what the temperature is. But anyway.
Oh, so it
Came
knows the
back
temp?
Next day, says it had ended.
Okay.
So I'll skip this process because I did this a couple times. So, put my little battery analyzer on it. See what it says. What was it? 535, I think, before. So we'll set it so it knows what the battery cranking up is supposed to be. And 486, we went backwards.
Whoa!
What's going on here? I want it up high.
16 hours. Crank it up. That's an interesting development.
So I thought, well, it can't hurt to put it on again. And the next day, it was done. It said it was full charge. It did its little repair thing. Got my little analyzer out again. And the cell actually came up in the amount of liquid that was in it. And I didn't add anything to any of these, so.
It's expanding with
Okay,
hydrogen.
well, maybe I should take the battery out. And sometimes they say that if you can bang the battery around a little bit, jar it, I guess is the word.
Put it on like a vibrating table. That would be interesting.
Loosen up whatever kind of garbage is inside there or stuck to the plates. It's not easy to get out of. The F-150 is no handle, no room for your fingers.
You know, that gives me an idea. What if you took like one of those ultrasonic cleaners? Now you have to run an ultrasonic cleaner with water in it. If you don't put water in it, the correct amount of water, you'll kill the inducers, or whatever they call those things. But what if you put one in one of those, if you have a big one, and topped off the water and ran it for a little while and shook the battery that way? I mean, it'll vibrate it. And because really this stuff is just kind of building up like a thin film on the plates. Yeah, transducers, yeah. What if you did that? I wonder, that would be an interesting thing to try out. Let's go back to the video. Let me catch up real quick. Let's see. So Mark says, fix it, channel. That video is old. Check out the oil cooler one. All right, we'll do that in a bit. Let's see. I like the Schumacher charger. I always like the Schumachers. The old ones are nice, too. We have at the shop. Static pulse charger with desulfate. Nice. Does that, you think that one works pretty good? Is that a newer Schumacher? I actually have one of the cheaper Schumachers, and it fried a cap, and it doesn't respond anymore. It just cycles on and off, cycles on and off. And I think if I just put all new capacitors on it, I think that would solve it. Because I think I tried to put one on, and I just never went back to it. But I can take it apart again and just look at the caps and order up a bunch of caps and just solder them on, see if that'll do it. Yeah, but a paint shaker is pretty aggressive. I thought about that. That might work too if you can put it on like a lower setting. Some of it just to drop it in the grass. On the grass. Yeah, you could do that, but you don't want to shake it too hard. I mean, you could try it. Yeah, Brett says, yeah, around $100. He says, I have a shoemaker battery. A shoemaker battery. Works great. Mark says, I would have to spend more money on a machine if it would bring it to the battery back to close to new on a local battery. And yeah, because that's the thing is you start spending money on this stuff. Starter Place has a machine that can bring back most any dead battery. Yeah, I wonder what the hell that is. All right, let's keep checking it out.
Heavy. So I got it out, put it on my table here, made sure that, see there, it's the little
Oh, where's the eye?
bubble there, still doesn't show either. Oh, there you go. I see green for a second. Flips into red and then gone.
Green light.
I thought maybe it would show me something. But on the screen, yeah, it went away. Whatever. So, make sure those are on nice and tight. Gently kind of flipped it on the side to see if they won't leak, will they? Who knows? So I thought, well, okay, we got away with that. Let's maybe take it upside down. Let's get all the floaters in there, junk moving around.
I've even rinsed them out with a hose
Again,
to try to get all the sediment out of the bottom, which can cause
burning a
inductance.
little more than probably would be in the truck.
Sometimes that helps. And then you put fresh acid in it and get a hygrometer and check the level.
I wasn't really sure what I'm doing. I'm just doing what suggestions I've seen on the interweb. Rocked it around there a little bit again. Get everything all moving around.
I mean, keep in mind, though, that they're in a car or a truck and they're already being vibrated, right? As you drive down that road, they're getting shook around and vibrated and stuff. So
it's at 584. Well, that's pretty good. It's getting upper. Is that the word? It'd be nice if we got like 650 out of it if it's a 750. So another 16 hours of cooking away.
Oh, I've never had a Harris battery.
It's like, well, I'm pretty happy with that. And it's saying now it says that the battery's good but recharged again. So okay, we're getting up to where we need to be, I hope. No real instructions with this thing. Doesn't tell me. Now we're at 613.
That's a little bit better.
Gone down, right? Lost 43 cranking out amps. So Did it again. I'll do a quick whiteboard review of these numbers after. 577.
Wow.
It's even less.
We're standing up for our right to be lazy. We work hard, we deserve to scroll hard.
Oh, brother.
Black Friday sale. Great deals on recliners, sofas, sectionals, and more. Lazy Boy. Long live the lazy.
Get ready for Black Week on G28.com. Experience
Let's
the
get
finest
this.
digital deals and get your...
Thought we were at 650 originally. I'll have to take a look and see what the numbers were. I can't remember already. Okay, we're at 605, so we've gone up again a little bit.
It's really
As
struggling.
high as we're going to get to. So let's try the other van. It's a 2-year-old battery, I believe, out of the wife's caravan. So it's 2 years old. The van is older, but the battery's fairly new. Went to do some tests on it too, and it doesn't seem to be cranking as fast as I would like it to. There's still some warranty on it. I might bring it back to them and see what they can do. I pressed this. I had it unhooked, so they said it was out of the vehicle just because it was unhooked from their circuitry. This battery is a little different. It's an 800 cold cranking amps. So again, the machine doesn't know what it's supposed to be at. But I guess it can figure between the number you give it and the number it's at if it's a good battery or not. Which makes some sense. So
Whoa.
the 800 cranking amps, only 400. That's way down. And it's been starting pretty good over the winter time here. We had it not plugged in a couple times there. It started every time. We're doing really short trips with it too, so it never really gets charged properly from the alternator. But I have a little trickle charger hooked up to it, so when the block heater is plugged in, that's what we got to do in Manitoba, Canada.
Yeah, I imagine.
And of course it stops charging. So we're at 411, where were we at before? We're at 410 or something?
Yeah, things vary.
So anyway, you know, they claim all these things should just bring it back. This battery, like I say, is kind of good. It's not an old battery. So I'll let it do its thing again. I don't know what you're thinking so far. I forget what I paid for this. 65 bucks Canadian maybe?
Wow.
16 hours goes by.
That's a good $50 so US.
You think, okay, after these 3 or 4 times, it should be good. Pop the hood open. Got my gloves on because it is cold. Doesn't really tell you much there. Got my little analyzer out again. What do you think the numbers are going to be? Higher, lower?
I don't know. Same.
400.
It's like 400.
Really? Well, it's gone down a little bit.
It's like killing your batteries.
Half of what it's supposed to measure. So it's like, well, we did drive it a little bit the next day.
Yeah.
And it measured back up to 480. So
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll check it out. I just kind of want to see what happens.
let's do some more 16 hours overnight, I guess. Still a long way from that 800 cranking amps. Old cranking amps, but it seems to be coming up, I guess. Especially if we can get it. I don't know what's. Obviously, it's not a new battery either. But, you know, some people say, oh, these things work 100%. Well,
Yeah, right. Not
this
100%.
mode, it can do a few things. I've seen some that don't even hook up to anything.
I wouldn't be embarrassed by it. It's just a little too long, but you could change that. Like you could do things different. It's not terrible.
Review or see what
It's also the content.
learned.
Like it is a boring
These two
subject, but it's still
examples. I've tried a couple
interesting.
of
People
batteries
like
to
it.
try. Nope,
635.
Okay, well, that's
You
pretty
got
good.
something out of it.
Probably happy with that. So what do I think of it? Let's look at the data.
Let's look. Let's go to the whiteboard.
So the truck, it was rated at 750, right? When we first measured it, not doing anything, was started.
So
at
we know it came
535.
down a lot.
Went down to
Yeah, I'm going to scroll
4.
through this. So we know that at the end,
To nurse the batteries along on both of them. So basically 2 weeks of testing to find out I'm not really sure. I would have liked to see it come right back, especially the one in the Caravan.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Battery, I would have hoped it would come right up to what it was. Anyway, give me the thumbs up, please. If you like the video, you can subscribe. Down in the corner, of course. Check out my
All right, cool. Hold on. I'm coming back. It just takes me a bit because I haven't set things on shortcuts yet, so I have to click with my mouse. Because, I fix things a little bit at a time. At least I fixed the echo, right? When I want to play a video and talk over it and forget to turn my mic off and stuff. At least now we don't have that echo. Although sometimes that echo sounded all right. All right, let me catch up. So that's not a terrible video. I think, I have the same problem because I'm long-winded, and doing any video, I have to look back at it and go, oh, geez, I got to cut out some of this. Now, what I do nowadays, like for a video like this, is I would put it all together on my editor, cut out any of the dead air, get rid of anything I think is sacrificial, and then put it all up on a video and watch it. And then I look at the timestamp at the end. And I'm like, okay, so let's see, where am I now? So it's a 16-minute video, which is not terrible, almost 17 minutes. It's not bad, okay? That's shorter than anything I do. I look at it, because like my videos are really long. They're ridiculous when I shoot them. And I look at it and I go, all right, I do a save as. And I save the as like the one I'm really going to hack up. So I do the save as the version that I'm going to hack up, and I keep sort of the original segments that are all strung together, and some of the nonsense is cut out of it. I save that just in case of emergency, because I might screw up. Because now I'm going to go in deep and I'm going to hack at it. And then for something like this, Wayne's here. Hello, Wayne, and also X-Fail. Do you have a cat? No, I don't, but I have the hat. I wish I did. Welcome to the channel, X-Fail. Let's see, let me catch up too while I'm here. Harris is the shit. I never had a Harris battery. He says, my newer video is a bit faster, along. I'm embarrassed by this video. No, don't be embarrassed. All the others claim it will be like a new battery. No. Let's see. Wayne says, we use the Noco Genius at 10, Genius 10 at EP. Check out his channel too, his son's channel, right? I'll have to put a link in there too. I'll put a link in a little bit. Let's see. We have approximately 50% of the 20 batteries we have sold this year. Not bad. We get $5 for scrap and $30 for the used repair ones. Wow. Not bad. Not bad. The Noco Genius 10. No review on the clutch compression gauge. Sorry, clutch doesn't make it anymore. Oh, really? Well, that's... Northern is like that sometimes. And Northern is like the way... I used to go to Northern, by the way, to get tools that were better than like Harbor Freight. But now Harbor Freight has like 3 tiers. So, we don't have to. Dwayne says, Uncle Mark, you Canadian. We'll hit the sub just because you're a nice guy and Arch is your buddy. Yup, do so. Uncle Mark is Fix a Channel, Manitoba, Canada. Yeah, let me see real quick. I want to put in... Let me go to me real quick. I want to drop a link in. Bang a link. Bang a link. Let me go here. Let's see. If I can get to it real quick. I actually went through some of the stuff on people that I subscribe to, because I'll subscribe to somebody, especially to help out. But then like a year later or so, if the person hasn't done anything, they probably gave up. And I'm like, well, you haven't done anything in like over a year. I got so many. I got like over 500 people. So I just get rid of it. Let me see here if I can find it. God, I have so many people. There, is that it? Oh, no, that's Nighthawk. I'm looking. slowing down tonight already. I'm getting tired. Hold on. Oh, Rusty Rooster. Here we go. Let me put the link in. Check out Eliminated Performance. Really, lots of great how-tos on that. Some good info. Let's see. Mark says, I want to talk about Canada. Me, Canadian. Wayne says, NOCO works on AG, lithium-ion, lead-acid batteries. As those are Brits say, Foxwell. Sweet as a nut. Is it expensive, Wayne? Brett says, my boats are few and far between, and most are kind of blah. No, they're not. Some of them are nice. I mean, the thing is if you're doing a hobby channel, right, even most hobbyists will put out more than one video a year. Okay. To do a video every week is, if you're a hobbyist, is a lot. That's 52, videos a year, or 50 videos a year, or whatever, or 40 videos a year, right? That's a lot. That's a lot to do if you're just like a hobbyist and you don't have a lot of time. But if a year goes by, more than a year goes by, and you haven't put out a video, something happened. A lot of times people give up, and you only have a couple of videos. Like, you guys have videos. Like, you have a whole bunch of them. That's different. You can tell it's difficult to do this, no doubt. And it's difficult for everybody. And I think sometimes people just give up. They just do it because it is a lot. It's hard. And even just kind of coming up with content, and then you got to figure out how to shoot it. What I was saying earlier is like, I'll drop the edit in, and I'll go back and I'll start hacking. Now, a video like this is kind of cool because I'll watch it, and what I've been doing lately is I'll sit down here, I'll grab all of that, a bunch of that footage, and that becomes my B-roll. I save it off as segments. And then I'll sit here and I'll sum up. I'll start like talking about, I don't script it, but I'll take like 10 minutes of something that I was trying to show, and I'll condense it into like 4 minutes of me saying something. And I'll run the footage on top of what I'm saying and just cut it down. And for me, that's a big help because, like I said, I'm long-winded and my videos are retarded long. Like, they just are way too long. So that's how I've been starting to learn how to deal with these issues. Let's see. Yeah. Brett's stuff is. Wait, hold on. Wayne says, so I put up the link for Eliminated Performance, fellas. Go check that out. Like I said, it's really, Wayne and his son do some really awesome stuff, and his son gets like really good how-to stuff. Really gets in and tight. Wayne says, enjoyed your discussion on straightening out your shop. Brought back memory of my dad with my uncle jacking up and moving 2-story barn on a new house for a garage. Yeah, absolutely. Back in those days, I mean, I have problems now doing a lot of that, so I have to be careful. And I think to myself, oh my God, if I can't even afford to hire people now, I don't know what I would do. But it's hard work, but it's so much fun. I really enjoy it. Xfield says, I bought a NOCO, but it's overpriced. I should have gotten the new Schumacher lithium-ion booster starter, much more affordable. Really, what were you paying for that stuff, Zephael? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but let me know. Bravo says, yeah, I have more hours of video on my dad's old outboard mode I'm working on, but I have not edited down and uploaded yet. It takes tons of time. And, one of the things like I realize, and I'm slowly realizing, because I've only been doing it for 3 years. In my first year, I really should, YouTube should have an award for people like me. The world's worst YouTuber. And I've shown some of you guys some of the footage that I actually took down for my first year, but I've also shown some of the stuff that I've left up. And it's horrible. The lighting is wrong. The coloring is wrong. I'm all over the place. You can't hear me, or I'm too loud, or it's a mess. So YouTube really should have like some kind of placard, like the black placard, right? For YouTubers like me that start off the worst possible YouTuber on the planet, right? That I need that award. I deserve it. So I've been trying to figure out how do you do this? And one of the things I found too was don't give the store away. I'll try to go over a lawnmower and I'll show all of this stuff, and it's like a master course, except I'm no master. Nobody knows who I am, and nobody is going to watch a 2-hour how to restore properly, do everything. No one in their right mind would watch that. So I made a couple of those. I'm like, this is ridiculous, bro. Nobody's going to sit through this. This is annoying. I'm like, oh, you could make like 3 or 4 videos from this. Oh, light bulb came on, right? Oh, look at that. Yeah, I figured that all on my own. Ooh. It's hysterical. I'm like, wow, I could make, and like, don't give the store away. And I was like, well, okay, now, great idea, Arch. Now, how do you do that? Like, how do you pull it off, right? Because just because somebody else could make a video on something like that doesn't mean, that was the thing when I first started. I'm like, just because somebody else can make a video or gets really popular, that doesn't mean that I can. And I just never forget, like, the first time, like, it's so easy because I could put any machine up on any table or on the ground and I could probably fix it and have a great time doing it. Then I stuck a camera on it and I thought, oh my God, this camera's going to be pointed at this stupid thing for like, I don't know, a half hour. That's going to suck. And then, oh, it was such a mess. Let me catch up. Let's see, he said, I'd make a 1-minute short consolidating your entire video and then leave a link to your main video for people who want more in-depth information. Yeah, that is another really good idea. And that's what the shorts, I think, for especially for people like us, because our shorts, our videos are not, quote, entertainment videos, you know, unless, of course, you've got sweet butt and you got the cleavage and everything. Not to be sexist, but let's face it, fellas, we know that's what's going on, right? We know, we see these videos. Like, we're men, like, we're stupid, right? If you see a chick working on anything, okay, and she doesn't even have to be gorgeous, but if she's got the Daisy Dukes on and a little bit of cleavage, we're sitting there going, oh, yeah, screwdriver, yeah, that's right. What size wrench is that? Wait. Oh, yeah. We're so bad. And they take advantage of us, too. Let's see. That is a good idea, though, make that short. I've been doing a little bit of that, too. But I had to figure out how to make shorts, and I sucked at that. And my phones and cameras and stuff aren't really, like, maximized for shorts. But I've been trying to figure that out, too. Plus, I have network issues out here. So I really would want to use my phone. But the phone needs a dongle for the microphone. And then when I go to upload, the internet's so bad I have to go shove the phone in the house and let it upload. That's another story. Wayne says Foxhole sells for 38 Canadian on Amazon, but not the one Jake bought. Records on Bluetooth. Sweet. Wayne says, nice working with Jake. He taught me all I know on small engine repair, but I hate working on the suitcase generators. A real pain. Jake's down and dirty method is the bomb. Works every time. Nice. We are all learning. YouTube is hard, especially stuff we are doing with repairs. Always different engines, hard to get angles, lighting, and sound. Yeah, and lately some of the shots that I've been doing, they're shiny objects. And I mentioned this to a friend of mine today that I was chatting with. I'm like, so the next thing I want to try to do, you know, on my list of things for this coming year is sometimes I do the overhead, sometimes I flip it so that it's normal, sometimes I move it the other way, but a lot of it is the lighting. And he was like, just use like a paper towel blind or whatever. It's a diffuser. You can make a diffuser. You can even use wet paper towels. And I'm thinking, well, I might, because that light over the bench is perfect for our eyes, but not for the camera. And he's like, well, the other thing too is you can get different bulbs. Well, I'm like, I can't afford that yet because I got to rebulb that building and I'm not done with this building yet. I'm going to be putting up another light soon. I was like, I can't afford to buy LED bulbs yet. I got to get through because all of these fixtures now are old and they're frying and burning out. The bulbs are burning and there's a lot in here. There's a lot of fixtures to go through. So I can't do that. I'm like, okay, but I could make a frame and put a diffuser over it, and that would probably help. There is a diffuser on that light over the bench, and I have one over here too, but it's not enough. It causes the shiny objects to become problematic. And I've been doing a lot of things that are shiny lately, and I can tweak it in post with DaVinci, and I do. I can tweak it, I can manage it a little bit, but it's still very shiny, and it's difficult to look at. So I thought, well, over the course of this coming year, I'm going to address that. That's another issue because I kind of like making a list of the stuff coming into the new year. What do I need to do better? What's broken? What's not working? What am I doing wrong? But also the dream, right? What can I do better? So obviously you can fix some of the stuff you're doing wrong. But then what can I add? Like, what can I really improve that is just lurking in the background that I just haven't addressed? So I'll get there. I mean, I'll keep poking at it. So Wayne says, I must be nuts. I watched them all the way through, Arch. No way. Let's see. Let me catch up here. You guys are getting ahead of me. Okay, XFail says 160 US for the 1750 amp NOCO. I think Schumacher 2500 amp is 150 at Walmart. All right, timestamp this. I don't want to write it down. I don't feel like copying it. I don't know what to tell. Let's see. 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 36 seconds. All right, because I want to go back and check on some of this stuff. And this way I have like an audio reminder for myself. Because I want to kind of, they're going to be on the deep, what I call the deep wish list. There's the shallow end of the wish list for myself that I'll put on there. And the stuff that I'd like to get, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And then there's the deep end, which is the stuff I can't really afford. So I'm going to get through this, and then we're going to open up some swag. And then we're going to talk a bit about the other stuff. And then either later or maybe next time we'll come back to one of Mark's other better videos, as he says, right? As he says, right? Honestly, by the way, what we think of as what is better, who determines what's better? Who determines what's a good video? We do. Not the YouTuber, the YouTubers like us that are watching YouTubers. And I have learned that we really don't know. Like, as a YouTuber presenting videos, we don't know crap. Because I've put out some stuff and like I have like a few 100,000 views. And I'm like, huh? Now, yes, you can narrow it down and you can look at statistics and you can get a better understanding of what might be something that will do well and whether or not you made a good video and it's in focus and the sound is good. And But at the end of the day, it's like a pretty girl, right? Or a handsome guy, right? Who really says that that girl is pretty, right? Only the person that says that. To somebody else, it'd be like, I don't see what you're looking at, bro. How many views are you talking about? Meanwhile, you're looking at it and you're going, I don't know. I think she's, Beauty and good sometimes is in the eyes of the beholder. Now, that said, you can make a really bad video, and I think everybody would agree, right? There are times when I've made some really crappy videos, and they're horrible, and I don't think anybody would disagree. I mean, they were horrible. And I've seen a lot of videos that are like, bro, yeah, I won't say anything, of course. Yeah, I was actually just going to mention, I was watching a video on a guy that was, he was from, I guess from the UK, and he was trying to take off a tractor rim and tire, and he had to heat it, and he also wanted to show us how you could put oil inside and stop the leak. And you couldn't hear him, and he has the accent, right? Very thick, British-like style accent, and you couldn't hear him. Now, if you could hear him, which that's like rule number one, is that you got to hear the person. If you could hear him, me as a New Yorker who has a really serious accent, I would be able to understand him because I've been watching British comedy and I've known British people and I listen to them and I watch them. And I also live in the United States and we have all kinds of accents here. So if you can hear the person, you can get to the accent. We couldn't hear him. We also couldn't see him. And you could also tell that he watched a video on how to do this and then turned around and tried to do what he saw. And instead of saying to everybody, fellas, I don't know how to do this, but I watched a video on this, and supposedly, like, I could do this if I follow that instructions. Let's see how I make out. But he came from a perspective of authority. And that was a big mistake because the video sucked really bad. And it took forever. And we watched it. And I looked in the comment section, and they ripped this guy apart, like people from all over the freaking planet. and they were being funny about it, and I felt bad. Like, I think if the guy had said, fellas, I don't really know how, let's just see if I can do this. Supposedly, this is all you got to do. But like I said, he came from a different point of view, and they just cut him up. And I was like, and some of it was funny. I'm like reading it. I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. I'm not going to be a part of this. Let's see, let me catch up. Bravo says, I get you. I probably have 4 hours snapper restoration video, but everyone watches Jim Jackson. He's the snapper whisperer. That's not true, because I've got a bunch of snapper videos and they do okay. Besides, who cares? Jim is awesome, but I like snappers. And as much as I complain about their transmission, and lots of people like snappers, and Bleach has got a whole bunch of snapper videos. Bleach has got like over 1 million something views. He didn't even know it. I had to tell him. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, bro. You know, like, don't you look? He doesn't care. He doesn't care. What does it matter? It doesn't matter. You got to keep in mind that as a YouTuber, we're in a unique, people that make YouTube videos, we're in a unique situation. None of the other YouTubers are your competition. Look at it this way. They're not, because they're different people and they do things differently. What really is your competition is the YouTube algorithm. I mean, if you actually want yourself and the algorithm, because if you want to do a better video and you want to make your videos better, that's up to you. And how much you're willing to do to get to that point, what will you sacrifice? What will you spend on equipment? How hard will you work? That's up to you. That has nothing to do with the next guy. And the other thing is that when you put out a video, right, judging yourself, looking at yourself in an honest way, and sometimes what is good enough, right? I mean, you do the best you can. That's got to be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. So the next guy has nothing to do with any of that. That's between you. And then the algorithm. That's YouTube. Because sometimes YouTube just picks somebody and they get really popular. A lot of times they pick people that have been at it and really cranking away at it for a while, and it can take a while. But mostly, sometimes they don't even pick you even if you're all really good. I mean, that's just like bands, right? I mean, how many of us have gone to see bands or whatever and met people that play really well, and you're thinking, how do they not be signed? So it's not the other person, and let them have their day in the sun, right? And they probably deserve it. Usually, most of the people I watch, I think they deserve what they have, what they're getting out of YouTube and whatever. I mean, I watch them because I like them. Everybody on my list, by the way, that I have, I like to some degree or another. Let's see. Wade says, properly maintain your small engine battery to last forever. Check out Bruce Pender. His battery is 15 years old and still going strong. Yeah, he's another one. I was talking to him recently. It was just me and him chatting. And I was talking about that one where he redid the John Deere snowblower. He goes, I said, I saw that. He goes, that was like one of my first videos. That was like over 10 years ago. I'm thinking to myself, no, it wasn't. I'm like, didn't you just do that like a couple of years ago? He's like, no, that was like over 10 years ago. I'm like, what? Where does the time go? Yeah, I've been watching him for a long time. Uncle Mark says, this Ford battery is the original for 2013. Yeah, you could, you try to take care of stuff. Unless, of course, like my van, which has been having these different parasitic draw issues. The one I found, it was the radio. And the radio went kazoink. And even the clock in it was freaking out. So I completely disconnected the radio. But there's still something else that's killing the battery. And I measured the load. I don't know. It sits. That van sits a lot. I don't know what to say. The battery goes dead. It just won't start the vehicle. And then I charge it and do all of that. This is, let's see, when it says they use the yoga pants now, Arch. Really? Wow. Yeah, they do. The stretchies so that you see every crevice and everything. Oh, my. Nice. Shop Talk with Brett. I know. When I upgraded from the iPhone 5S, the quality was amazing. Step up. Yeah, Jamie, let me get back a... Oh, it just went up. I just lost one. Okay, I lost it. They use yoga pants. Okay. The ones who piss me off are the guys who restoration but don't. Say one damn word throughout the video. Tell us that what the pluck you're doing. Yeah, agreed. I don't watch them. I generally don't like the silent stuff. I will watch it from time to time, but I don't care how thick your accent is. I don't care. I live in New York. Okay, everybody's got a weird accent here. I really don't care. I like to hear. Now I watch a fellow that he speaks a little bit more. He's a Canadian dude, and he does all these cars. He's got a really cool place. I was just watching him earlier, and people were telling him that you should speak more often. He goes, "Well, I don't know why they want me to do that because I don't think I have anything interesting to say." He puts a lot of music on and fast forwards it because he's just doing all these weird car customs and stuff. And he wants to show it, but he has to put it in fast mode because it would take forever, right? But I don't know. I think he doesn't. I think he sells himself short. I mean, he's really popular, but he'll tell you what he's doing. You know, he'll get into it. He'll tell you. He's not the best explainer in the world, but I like him. So let's see. Jim's the best on snappers. Yeah, he is. But plenty of other people are good. He is. He's been doing it a long time. Mark says, I agree. Some say nothing. I want an explanation as to what I'm seeing. Yeah, check equals check. Yeah. XFL says. Wayne says 90% of Jake's videos are done with a cell phone, but worth $1,800 Canadian, but has the light adjustment and anti-vibration control. Sure, it's nice to have the gyro set up and everything. That's another thing I'd like to get. The last shiny object video arch being posted on UFO channels. Yeah. That last shiny object video. Yeah. I do stuff like that. Because I don't care, right? And sometimes I'm like, my channel is got some strange offshoots, even in the lives. And I'm like, well, why the hell not, right? You know, maybe one day I'll start a second channel. In the meantime, I just throw different things up. Yeah, so Mark says, all my videos are with my iPhone XR, older phone. Still good. This one's too old. This one's way too old, right? I have problems with this. Is like an iPhone 7 or something. I don't know what the hell it is. Works fine as a phone. He uses the, XFL says, some phones have amazing video cameras in them. 8K in my phone. Have to buy expensive video cameras and beat it. Yep. Brett says, I use a 14 Pro Max. Mark says, I know my next phone video will look even better. Just me too cheap to replace my phone. And I don't blame you because it's so expensive. It's like, why, if you really want to do it and like up your game, yes, it's nice to have. And then you get a really nice piece of equipment. But it is expensive. Wayne says, I would do a video, but my flip phone just don't cut it. No, I still like flip phones. I have a couple of them laying around. But I also you see some of my videos. I made a video recently on like can a cheap phone still make a decent video? And I talked about how you have to work around the limitations, but that's true with any camera. You have to know what the advantages and limitations are. Like, for example, the past couple of weeks, this camera was going out of focus a lot because it's set up to be in the shop looking at shiny things. And I sat here tonight and I was looking at it. I'm like, it's doing this. I'm like, okay, so I'm like that. All right, you know what? I got to get up and I got to change the setting. And I did. I changed the focus setting on it. Now, these cameras, you can run them in manual. You can run them combination automatic. Like these are like hybrid modes. There's a lot you can do with these cameras that you can't do with phones. There's a lot you can do. But if you're not doing or looking to do those things, well, then you don't need those features. There are other features too. By the way, my friend of mine is going to be sending me, it's like a knockoff GoPro because I've been wanting something really small with some kind of image stabilization so I can roughhouse with a little bit or maybe even wear it on my head. And he bought a knockoff one. He's been into cameras for years, like 35 millimeter and everything. I mean, I took courses in that. And I said, does it work? Like, is it an absolute piece of crap? Like that phone that you sent me? And that thing was an absolute piece of crap. He's like, no. He's like, it works fine, but I don't need it. And I just bought a nice camera. I was like, all right. He's like, I also got this, I think he signed up for something, whatever, and he got a camera for, like, security. And it's supposed to work with, different software and stuff. He's like, try it out. If you want it, it does wide field of view and all of that. I'm like, yeah, send it over and I'll play around with it. So we'll see, because I know another friend that he bought a couple of years ago. He bought a knockoff GoPro. And this is going back 3 or 4 years, maybe 5. I want to say around the time of the GoPro 8s or 9-ish or something. And it was a lot less money. And he and his lady got into motorcycles again. And they got hooked up with the motorcycles and a motorcycle crew. This is in the UK. And he sent me footage. He strapped it to a helmet. He strapped it to the motorcycle, to the handlebars, a bunch of different places. He sent me the footage. And he's like, check this thing out. It's like half the price of a GoPro. And he sent me the link. And I watched the footage. And I was like, wow. I'm impressed, for what it's designed for. So, but they need light. Like these cameras, notice how dark it is in here, right? There is light in here, but you can see, right? These cameras, this one doesn't have, it's not as good as the other camera, but you could never do anything like this with a GoPro. It just won't see anything. And the image would be terrible. So better cameras can do that. Like cell phone cameras would struggle with this. And because I can run these manually, I can determine they have a great dynamic range, and I can kind of determine how much do I have the background do I want to show. I don't have to be as aggressive with the lighting. I can get away with stuff. And I like it dark because I'm in the bright light. A lot of times I'm outside. I've got all these lights blinding me in my face. And I think some of it has to do with the diabetes too, because my eyes get tired and I do a lot of video editing on these monitors. And I'm like, it is too bright. At the end of the day, I need to just shut down and not look at big bright things. And so, the 14 Pro, yeah. Next phone and video even look better. Mine says I would do a video, but my phone can't cut it. XBL says, personally, when I don't know what the hell I'm doing and know I'm making horrible mistakes, I speak from a position of authority and tell everyone. I have to scroll it up a little bit. A position of authority and tell everyone publicly that I'm doing it correctly. It's personally when I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, right? Some people can be mean. Easy to be mean with the keyboard. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's like that. It's like beer balls, right? And I won't do that. That's not fair to sideswipe somebody, right? They're trying to do something. If they're sucking at it, like me, maybe they'll get better. But I don't think they're going to get better. See, there is no way to get away with being mean. And I've even said to some of the people that have criticized me, I'm like, dude, you could have said that nicer. I might learn something. You could just say, Arch, that took too long. Or Arch, you're not doing it right. Believe me, plenty of people have said that. But if you say it nice, well, then I can learn something. And I get another idea. Like I want to get to later on where Brett gave me some ideas. He wasn't criticizing me. He was just suggesting something to me. I didn't get upset. Why would I get upset? He didn't say it mean. He was like, I don't know if this is true or not. By the way, one of the questions he asked was is Husqvarna making, in particular, that model of the Red Max blower? And that's a good question. I haven't looked it up. I figured maybe if nobody knows, we can go search online and see if that's true or not. That's a good question. Because Husqvarna has been buying up the industry and then shitting all over it. And there I said it. They're going to destroy this industry. I do not trust those people anymore, right? Because they're all this big business, new world order, great reset, everything's going to be electric. To hell with the infrastructure. We'll tear down the infrastructure, and then we're going to give you this new crappy infrastructure that doesn't work right, and everything gets sets on fire. Don't get me started. Mark says, he goes, nice, shut up with Brett. I know when I upgraded from iPhone 5, the quality was amazing step up. Yeah, I can imagine. All Our personal mower is a commercial self-propelled snapper we took in on trade for $10. Came in a parts box. Almost scrapped it, but 2 days and a few missing bolts. Viola. Yup. That's awesome. Let's see. I get passive aggressive when I get idiots commenting with dumb comments. I have buddies with channels over 100,000 subs, and I always appreciated constructive criticism, but the lowlifes out there, I know. I feel you. Yeah. Well, we can't let them disrupt us too much, right? You can be aware of them, but why let them get in deep, right? That would be a big mistake. Don't ever let them get in deep. And yeah, people, the thing I got to say though, it's not an insult. It's an insult, but it's not an insult. I have heard a few times, especially starting out, the comment of, that's 15 minutes I'll never get back again. Now think about that. Right? One thing I really don't want to do is waste somebody's time because, well, we don't live long. Time is precious. Now, I can't make everybody happy, but I think if there are moments when I'm kind of really not delivering or really kind of screwing up and wasting somebody's time, there is an honesty there in that because I do that. I think we all do that sometimes. There are those moments when your video is going to be sluggish. Maybe it's not happening. Maybe you're wasting somebody's time. And usually YouTube will punish you for that. Because what YouTube does, if you do too much of that, YouTube will eventually bury your videos into the algorithm down deep in the basement somewhere. Because they'll be, like, let's say your video starts off good and then you start wasting people's time, the algorithm's going to show these dips. And if you keep doing that, YouTube is going to look at it and go, well, it starts off real good, but then it dies. That's such real good, dies. That's real good, dies. Now, if that happens too quick in the video, YouTube's going to put you in a bargain basement. And, maybe we deserve that. Now, if somebody says that, you wasted my time here. Now, one guy recently, I have a video on, I guess it's doing valve adjustment on like a 17 horsepower Briggs. And it came on a tractor that I rebuilt. So it's a segment of that larger video. And when I got the thing, somebody was in it. And they put blue RTV all over everything and on the rocker cover. And I show this in the beginning of the valve adjustment. There's blue RTV coming out of every freaking hole. It's leaking like a sieve. It's all over the muffler. The thing's blowing smoke. And I show, fellas, this is not the right way to do a valve cover with RTV. First of all, it's the wrong RTV. Secondly, there's too much of it. Let me clean this off. And by the way, the valve cover is like dented and the guy drove the screws in so hard he screwed up the valve cover. I'm like, let me just show you real quick how I like to put RTV on. I don't use very much. You got to let it set up, blah, 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 and then we'll get to the valve. Well, it's a 16-minute video, and the damn idiot says to me, you wasted my time. All I wanted to see was, I didn't need to know about the rocker cover. I'm like, dude, you could have scrolled through fast forward. It was like 15, 16 minutes, and most of it was the valves. Like a good 10 minutes or 12 minutes or so was me taking my time trying to explain how to adjust the valves. The rocker cover is kind of part of that, and since the guy before me made such a mess, can you really blame me for showing that? I'm like, dude, go check out some of my other Briggs videos on how to adjust valves where the rocker cover isn't a problem. That makes me pissy. All right, now let's see. Yeah, right. Well, let me catch up. Wait, I just saw something good. Let's see. Let me catch up. XL says, Jamie O, I mean like internet generally. It's better for critical feedback. Yeah. Brett says, I had to literally kick someone from my channel. No! Because they commented on my video with a rude comment. Hey, you're blind. Yeah, duh, idiot. That's just mean. What the fuck? Wayne says, time flies, Arch. Before we did not need glasses to see how we need them. It was hearing aids back in the knee, knee supports. Yup. Well, that's why I bought that bench, that lift table. Because my pain doctor, he says, well, what did you do? Like, you feeling better and everything? I'm like, I stopped bending over and hurting myself. I bought a lift table. He's like, what? So I only had to show it to him because he didn't understand what the hell I got. I'm like, it was expensive and I really couldn't afford it. I'm like, but seriously, like, I'm not constantly hurting myself. Yeah, and I got to wear glasses and, I'm a mess. Diabetes almost killed me twice. And now, and to read this, like, I generally can read the chat, but at night I can't. Wayne says, yeah, time flies. SBL says, shocked up with Brett. Brett, are you? And he says, yes, true, Jamie says. Uncle Mark says, some commenters are jerks, and they never have even one video posted. I know, because sometimes they'll say, oh, good, bro, let me check out your video on that subject. You need one video to 10 years. I know none of us would trash someone else's videos, even if they were crap. No. And Brett says, yes, legally blind. Watched all your snapper videos too, just as good as Jim's. Thanks, Wayne. Because I enjoy the snappers. And, Jim's a whole nother animal. By the way, a lot of people have said to me he's getting cranky. You could tell, right? Because he's quitting, basically. He's been doing it forever. It's hard to do that again and again and again. And he's a smart man, because if he does do something else or decides to just like retire, he's a smart man because it come to a point where it might drive you mad. It's a lot of work to do and what he does. And some of his earlier stuff, and this is, by the way, a shout out to anybody. I've only been doing this for 3 years. Let me stop right here. I am no authority. People like some of you fellas, Bruce, a lot of these other people, you go back 10, 15 years, more in the early days, there was no rule book, right? These people invented these genres, essentially. They were trying to figure it out. There was a lot of crap. There was a lot of cool stuff on YouTube back in the day, but there was a lot of crap. These are the people that essentially, it's like moving out west, like back in the 1800s, right? You have to blaze this trail with crappier equipment, without any guideposts, or very few. I mean, you got to give some of these people some serious credit. Now, on the other end of it is that if we start a channel like somebody like me, that's 3 years, well, I'm coming in on those coattails, but then in a sense, right, they have a lot of subs and a lot of views, and they know what they're doing. They've got clout and other stuff like that. And people like me coming in, it's a little daunting. Because you'll go and YouTube has gotten very professional, right? And I know my friend Henry is always, Murawski, he's always complaining about that. He's the guy I mentioned earlier. And I think he says it gets too commercial. It's not really that it's too much about the money, he says. I think it's really more about the level of quality, especially with younger people that have this grasp on the technology. And I was watching this girl that was being interviewed. She was in like junior high or high school, whatever, junior high. She cracked the code on shorts, YouTube shorts. She is the biggest YouTube short person on the planet. And when you listen to her speak, she's obviously taken a lot of courses in sociology, writing, advertising, and because they do have courses like this in high school and stuff. I took stuff like this in college. And she's using words. I'm like, geez, I haven't heard that word on storytelling since I took courses in that in like high school and college. Brilliant people. I mean, really smart and talented and with the technology. And she works with somebody that's a little older than her that does a lot of the editing, and she can pay him. Now, you don't make much on shorts, so she's going to get into like regular YouTube. You need something like 10 million views. One of the fellows that I watch that is really popular, he made a short, I don't know, got almost 500,000 views, something like that. He made like $500. and he's a big YouTuber, but he doesn't generally do shorts. And he did it with one other guy who's a really serious interviewer who actually does a lot of really cool interviews, and he's got a big channel. And they were talking about Mr. Beast. And that was the biggest short he ever had. And he made like very little money. Meanwhile, this is a guy that is a multimillionaire from YouTube. And he started off His wife was dying in a hospital. He was a mess. He lost his job. They were absolutely broke. So I just figured to throw that in. So he's been at it for like 10 years too. Bro says, yeah, I have a couple of those Victor's 4K sports cams. They have awesome resolution with the EIS. Yeah, the stabilization. Wayne says, it's been a sly Sarge, and gang gotta go out and finish off some equipment for tomorrow. Oh my God, what time is it over there? Like, he's way on the other side of the planet in Canada. Mark says, yeah, I gotta get, as soon as I read this, we're gonna open up some packages because I've been wasting time. Having a good time. And Mark says, I get passive aggressive when I get idiots commenting with just dumb comments. I have buddies with channels over 100K. Yep. Appreciate the criticism of all lives out there. XPL says, Chinese require oil long time. Mark says, can make it hard to do another video. Yeah, don't let it do that. All right, I'm going to catch up. Oh, it's kind of, it gets like jerky. He's already said that. Make it hard to know the video. Now you see why I stay behind the camera. Don't ever let anybody stop you, bro. Doesn't matter. I don't see an issue with you. I don't know. I watch you. It doesn't make a difference. Like I said, what does it matter? Uncle Mark's DIY, best to have a thick skin. Yes, XBL says. Just have fun regardless. Yeah, just like MTD. Mark says, yep. Usually I do have thick skin. Just interesting that haters are not the ones putting out videos. Yeah. XBL says, everything will be hand-powered when these CEOs get done messing stuff up. I know, bro. I'm totally with you on that. Yep. Like they want to go, well, what it is what they miss is like the surf days of like the 1600s and stuff. They miss that. They're into that. But they're making a lot of important people really pissed off. So it ain't over yet. Right? We're going to be going through some rough shit, but people are getting sick of it already. Mark says, interesting that one might say it was 15 minutes wasted, yet the next 99 explained what they learned and how it helped them. Totally. Yep. You just, XPL says, you just didn't like that the blue RTV worked perfectly. One tube is needed per valve cover. Yeah, it was inside. It was everywhere. It was horrible. See, people like Arch, Chicanic, Taro, Bruce, Stella, etc. not only show but how explain it, plus throw humor in. Yeah, thanks, bro. I try to be stupid. Sometimes I'm a little bit weird, but I am weird. You know, I'm not going to hide that. That's just who I am. I'm pretty much this way. I'm this way all the time until I burn out. And then, like I said, right earlier, I sit here like this and I watch my YouTube videos. I don't want to talk to anybody. If the phone rings, unless it's something where money is coming at me or something, I won't answer it. I don't want to say anything. Maybe I'll yell at the dog or whatever and try to figure out what the hell he's up to. I go in and out of the house and I don't want to be bothered. And I don't want to say anything. And I also don't say anything on YouTube either, as much as I want to. But I'm like, I just shut up. So I'm either on or off. Bleach says, I have to lift my glasses up to see the sizes on my sockets, especially the 10 millimeter. Yeah, right? I don't get troll comments. Must be doing something right. Brett says, Blake Shelton said that, Bleach. XPL says, Bleach PC Garage, it doesn't help that some of these manufacturers stamp their sockets with a feather. Totally. Bleach says 13 to 14 years on YouTube watch. Oh my God. Oh my God. So like you're a trailblazer. Wow. Bravo says, I may be different, not like I've heard that before. I make vids for myself and show how I did it right or wrong. Often I have discovered a solution nobody else has and post it unpolished. It's fine. And if you want to polish it, that's your choice. That's something you have to decide. Because it's your creative juices and stuff that you know, as long as you own it, right? As long as you own whatever it is, I think that's more important, that it's like honest. I think that's the most important thing. I started mine in 2015, Brett says. My first vid was a review on an Oregon chain grinder. Is that the chain grinder? Yeah, okay. Oh, I'll have to go back and check that one out. Bleach says, I'm trying to find videos on acting and public speaking, but it's hard to find good videos. There's a lot of good videos out there. Yeah. I think maybe it's what you're looking for, how you're texting it and typing it and whatever, and the context. Because I watch a lot of videos on like how to, the things that I watch on how to are in editing, on filmmaking, on like video making kind of things, and a little bit on the public speaking. But on that end, I don't know. I mean, I've been in bands and everything, and so by the way, a lot of this stuff for me is a lot like being in bands. A lot of the concepts are very similar to playing music, and then playing music together and figuring out what the band plays well, and then you throw it at the wall in front of an audience. And just because the band plays it well doesn't mean the audience is going to like it. And sometimes even the stuff that the band doesn't play really well, but yet plays well enough, but it's really honest, people in the audience like it. And it can be very weird. Sometimes it's an art. There's some of the rules to the art. Well, you got to try to be in tune. But then there's this other part of it where, like I said, who's to say who's good looking, who's not, who's fat, who's skinny, what sounds good. It could be really hard. Like, it is a magic in it, It's a weird magic. Let's see. I'm trying to find videos on acting, public speaking. But yeah, keep looking for stuff like that. I do watch a lot of that. It's quite helpful. XAO says, on Facebook and YouTube, you have people posting stupid videos just to get a shock reaction. And people pissed off at them nowadays. Yeah, totally. Like Tide Pod eating. Remember the Tide Pod eating and licking toilet seats? Huh? What's that about? How you started the grease thing, Arch. I just continued it with the Seals and Cross thing. Yeah, I mean, that's just so pure. That's the magic. Like the grease thing led to the Seals and Cross thing. And I think that's like the organic evolution of something. It just happens. And that's the best stuff. Mark says, seen one channel where the 50-year-old guy is doing car repairs and his 30-something wife helps him in her bikini. I can't compete with that. Yeah, a friend of mine watches, he likes to do, he's a retired cop, and so he also likes to do like a lot of food stuff. Got a little bit of an area where he's got his garden. He likes to do a lot of dehydrating and some homesteading. And I also like homesteading. And this one person he was watching that started doing some homesteading. He said it was okay. He says the channel really took off when his wife started coming out, low cut, cleavage out, and like the yoga pants, like Wayne said. He goes, and he's like, that's so wrong because like that's his wife. And he's like, the both of them are like flaunting her, and she's up on a ladder. The opening shot is on her cheeks. And it's like, that's pimping. Oh, I don't want to see that, It's like, yes, I do, but I don't, right? Because I don't watch that channel. But I saw it. He showed it to me. And there's just something not right about that, right? It's cheesy. I mean, it works, but it's kind of cheesy. And that's your lady. Like, why would you really want to do that? I actually asked at one point, I asked Liz, I said if she wanted to do something, because I showed her on one of my early videos, and I was asking her, and she said, she got really mad. She's like, I have children. I'm like, okay. And she was like, she got really mad, because I think I wrote something like, Liz is kind of like a hottie or whatever, and she's helping me off with this thing. She's like, you have to change that title right away. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry. That was wrong. I shouldn't do that. My attractive friend. No. And she's like, I have children, and she just won't be on it. But meanwhile, she says to me, why don't you show one of the kids doing something? I'm like, so it's not okay for you to be on it, but your children. I'm like, no, because if the kids are here, I've had some of the kids on, but I'm like, you have to be here, okay? Because they're not my kids. And it's not enough just to have an adult in a room. There's rules. Like YouTube has certain rules, and you should follow them unless you want a problem. Like there's certain things, yes, you can get away with, and there's other things that you shouldn't do. Let's see, let me catch up. Sure, you can just need to get some sorority girls to help you out. Yeah. Let's see, let me catch up. Let's see. Bleach says, started my channel in 2011. First video was a computer I built myself. Nice. Yeah, I used to do a lot of computers. I actually put some computer stuff on. I want to put like some of the details of my rig on here. I think it might be helpful. If you have good content like South Main Auto or whatever, you'll get popular no matter what. I watch him. Oh, yeah. Bleach says December 2011. And I've been watching Bucket's Garage on YouTube. Cool. I have an untouched grease gun in my box. Must be worth millions, Bleach says. I can't look at YouTube of grease now without thinking about you. No grease! No grease! Because it's true. Because all those people were writing into me that I ruined the lawnmower drive system. And the reason why it's having all these problems is because I put grease. They were like, you put grease. You can't put grease. The reason why all that dirt is in there is because grease attracts dirt. Okay? Because you put the grease, you ruined it. This is going on like for a year. I was getting all these comments of, you put grease. And so I'm in that video. I'm like, no, don't put grease. And Toro had put a grease fitting on the drive system on the outside, right, of the frame on the drive. And I'm looking at that grease fitting. I'm like, fellas, just ignore that. In fact, if anything, break that off and pack that hole with concrete. Because the last thing, some idiot designer put a grease fitting on this. Just ignore it. I just got tired of it. So I freaked out. Let's see. Robert says, boys, look at Pretty Women's. It's pretty much built in, despite society trying its best to civilize that out of us. I know. Speaking of tractors, where's Chris tonight? Yeah, she's probably out with her friend Alexis. There's a hiney crack in some of my videos. Yep. All right. I'm going to go take a pee break, and I'm going to turn the mic off because you people tell me you can hear it. And then we're coming back. We're going to open up the swag. But we got one box here, so big shout out to TJ. So he thought of me in the channel. And so here's one box. And I don't know what's in here. All right, here's one box. And here's the other one. This one came priority. It's priority, fellas. It's a priority. But this one does some shakes in it. So I wouldn't be surprised. It could also be that he's sending me his snowblower to repair one piece at a time. I'll be right back. Never mind. I gotta go take a quick coffee break and pee break. I'm shutting the mic off. All right. Let's see. I'm back. Now, let's take a look. Where do I put this? Let's put this camera on. What did I do with my glasses? Let's see what we got. Let's see what TJ sent. Let's get the knife. Get the knife out. I'll just take the one that's been in my back for the past 15 years. Let's see what Santa brought. All right, so this is the priority box. So we have to open up the priority box first. Hopefully I don't cut through anything. This is exciting. It may not be for you, but it is for me. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, fellas, check this out. Hold on. Well, first we'll do this. This looks cool. Wow. That is cool. I'll do both cameras. That one, the light's not great on that. That looks cool. Let's put this on. Oh, sweet. Go from the black to the black. I got to adjust it. Just a little, I got to adjust it. Hold on. Needs a little bit of adjustment. Let's see. It's got a thing back here. We'll just move it over one. You guys can see my bald head now. I've been balding for years. It finally, the diabetes really killed it. That and age, you know. Let's see. Oh, there we go. That is sweet. Check that out. That is cool. I can just about see it. That is nice. That is really cool. Now check this thing out. What is this, a sweatshirt? Oh, wow. We're going to put this on, bros. Put it in both cameras. So this is a hoodie. My daughter was like, that looks awesome. I got to go put this on. Right? My daughter was like, oh, I want a hoodie. As I sent her the pictures. Wait till she sees this. All right, hold on. Let me throw this on. I'm going to just change this. Hold on. Now we're a little worried that they run small. So yeah, the sizes do run a little small, right? This fits me. The other one is a little bit bigger. I'll check to see what that is when I get a chance. But check that out, bros. That is effing cool. Hold on, we got the shirt in here too. And he's like, try out some of these. Because I noticed this has been going on for a while. Because everything is made in China, and Chinese people their sizing is different. Because they are a little smaller, you know? They just are. But that really is nice. That is some serious swag, bros. Now check this out. I'll read in a minute. Let me just... So this one, just a t-shirt. And I think he said a lot of them were like larges. And what I was talking to him about, because, you know, we're worried that they'll shrink. Now, I'll check the labels tomorrow and see what the mix is. Is it polyester? Is it how much cotton is in it? They feel really nice. And it came out great. He did this all on his own. I'm not good with graphics. So I was like, you need a transparency. I don't actually have one. I used to use Photoshop, but it doesn't work right on Windows 10, and it keeps failing on me. And the new Photoshops are expensive, in a way. They really are, but they're really good. Like, they're much easier to use. So basically same thing, and really sweet. So we're trying to figure out what the sizes are. So I'm gonna wear them, give one to my daughter, and I'm gonna wash one of them and see how they come out and try to figure out what's going on with that, because we got to figure out like what is, I think extra large is really the way to go. Not extra, extra large, but extra large for anybody about my size. So I'm about 5'10" and a half, about 170 something pounds. I'm not particularly big. Now, the other thing I mentioned to him was, now these are black, right? So the shop is hot in, the general season that I usually work in. The shop is actually a little hotter than the outside. And when I was thinking about, my daughter made the very first, Archer's Garage, but it didn't come out right. And I said, why don't we do it in olive drab? I like olive drab anyway. It's an army color. I want it like an army style t-shirt, maybe with a pocket. And well, the logo that I initially did, I designed, I said, we'll put that coloring either in the red or the green on that light olive drab background. And this way, when it's really hot, if I walk outside into the sun, I'm not going to freak out from like black or darker colors. The one that she got me, which I don't think I have it here, but you guys have seen it. It's over there. It's like a dark green, and it's not terrible to be outside, but I also do a lot of stuff outside. And, green, right? I mean, it's not that it's a lawnmower channel, but it's small equipment and everything. All right, let me catch up to you guys. Let's see. Pimpin' ain't easy, Bleach says. Pimpin' ain't easy. Excelsis laughs at it. Boys like to look at pretty women's. It's pretty much built in, despite society trying to civilize the hell out of us. I know. Speaking of tractor whiz, Chris, tonight, Heine crack in some of my videos. I had 2 mufflers, different tractors catch fire on me. Mouse nesting mufflers. That's always smells nice. Xavier says, these people don't understand what grease is for, apparently. How can my spindles work for years when I grease them properly if grease just sucks in the dirt? Totally. But you're going to get some weird stuff being said. Brett says, if grease was bad, why did Toro and Lawn Boy put it there for a reason, especially with the grease fitting? Brett says, I'll go chaw a while, Arch peas. Yes, you guys didn't hear it. So Mark says, I should get myself another coffee as well. Kind of late for coffee. Dude, it's never too late for coffee. I drink coffee right up until the moment I go to bed. Like, you could just give me a mainline coffee or like IV, and I'll just keep drinking it. I may, keyword is may, possibly get my hands on a Time Master to have for a winter project to either flip or keep. By the way, that was one of the things I wanted to mention. When Wayne brought up the machine that he got, I did put up a short of that Time Master whose time has come. And I mentioned that I found a couple of decks on eBay for like $100. It could be more than that now, fellas, and the shipping alone, I don't know. But I told Mikey, I said, either I'll buy it from you, because he really basically gave it to me. I said, if I sell it, I said, but what I want to do is, the thing is literally falling apart because the deck is rotted out. I said, why don't I just sort of get the motor running, and we'll check the drive system, check the motor, and if it runs fine, then I'll buy a deck. All right? And if I sell it, because they can get about $400, $500, $600 here, maybe more, right? Depends upon when you go to sell it. But the more I think about it is, as much as I love my Honda, I mean, I got a pretty big yard. And it would be nice to have a Time Master. Although it's a newer Time Master with a rotted deck. I mean, those are the E-Series motors and everything. But it's all there. And I could give him a few bucks for it. And it wouldn't be that expensive to fix if everything is working good. Yeah, I hear you, the May, though. Yeah, he says, that hoodie looks excellent. It does. It really is nice. Definitely keep you on. Yeah. Wait, it's definite ply. Huh? I don't know what Brett said. That hoodie looks awesome, Bleach says. Arch's styling, Brett says. Bleach says, and are there any books on tape I can listen to help me with YouTube channel? I don't know if there is anything on tape, but there is a lot of podcast style stuff that people do. Even on video, they do it in a podcast style, so you don't have to watch the video. And I watch some of these people. TJ says, that shirt looks huge on camera. Because camera lies, right? So this feels right, but the other sweatshirt I have is definitely a little bit bigger. So we have to just think about it. But I don't know, if you put it in a dryer, it could really shrink. Now, I could not put it in a dryer. But then there's the other thing too, sweatshirt, if you want to put something more underneath it, like I have 2 shirts underneath it. Because it is a little chilly out here. I actually just turned the heat down a little bit. It gets drafty in here, but it's like, if you're sitting not doing anything. Bleach says, the t-shirt could be used as a curtain. It's big. It's not that big. Mark says, I drink till bed too, and none of that decaf stuff. No, I don't do any decaf stuff. I think this is like half decaf because the lady of the house doesn't want to completely dose us. Let's see what's in here. But isn't that nice stuff? I'm really digging it. Thank you very much, TJ. Everybody give a shout out to TJ. And let's see. Let's see what's in here. So we opened up the priority box first. I don't know, but the box says Husqvarna on it. Right. It's probably his weed whacker that he's sending to me one piece at a time. He's going to be like, here's weed whacker, bro. Oh, look at this, a new blade. Ooh, what's this for? Oh, that is a nice blade. What's the blade for? These are nice. Nice, the dual cutting edge. Nice. Nice blade, bro. Let's see. Grass side out. Nice. Nice blade. Nice. Is this a 21 or a 22? Yeah, I thought there was something heavy in there. Yeah, I actually need to order some blades at some point for the upcoming season. There's a couple. I need the ones with the star in the middle because I got a bunch of machines and I have a lot of good used blades that I now refurbish with that grinder that I did the detailed review on. And thank you very much. What's the blade for? Are you coming over with a lawnmower soon and you want a blade on it? That's cool. Let me put this back on. That was so much fun. Brett says, hold it close, Arch it. Let's see. Either way, it doesn't matter, right? Because everybody calls me Arch, so John is my actual name. Let's flip to this camera. These are the nice blades, too. This one's better. That one's more low light. Nothing like a nice new blade, I wonder if it's balanced, because you get a lot of these new blades in AYP style, yeah. You get a lot of these new blades. A fan wants to send me CBD vapes, hoping it all goes well with them. Yeah, you could probably get away with that. The only thing I worry about is if somebody fools around with it, I would be a little worried about that. But I don't think anybody would do anything. Although, what the hell do I know? People are weird, Yeah, like today. Like generally, I don't give out my address to right away to anybody that's buying my stuff. But this guy was like, yeah, hit me up tomorrow and we'll set an appointment. Everything is first come, first serve, by appointment only. So he hits me up today. He's like, all right, I'm ready. So I'm like, okay, you coming over now? I gave him my address and there's like crickets. And these people, they're like, is it available? Is it available? And then you write back, I'll write back, like, yeah, it's first come, first served by appointment only. Crickets. They don't even read it. Like, don't you have anything else to do? I mean, do you want the thing or not? What are you playing games for? Like, why are you just window shopping or something? Who window shops and goes, is it available? That's just so wrong. It's so annoying to do. And then I've showed you, some of you fellas a couple of times, of the stupid crap some of these people say. Like one time I wrote, in the ad, right? It said like, fully, properly tuned up, blade sharp, everything's cleaned up, runs really good. Like basic stuff like that. And this woman writes back, she goes, does it run well? I don't know. Your ad is confusing. Huh? What do you mean confusing? It says it runs really well. I did a tune-up. The oil has changed. I'm like, do you want me to write that again? I don't know what you want. Crickets. Does it run? How much is it? The worst thing that I hate is best price. Huh? By the way, it says firm. I mean, best price. Wait, what's best price? If I put the thing up for $160, then what? I mean, you can't even get a tune-up for $100. And I'll write that for like a little bit more than a tune-up. You get a whole machine. Best price. I delete. So this guy today, I just deleted him. You're done, okay? And sometimes they make notes of people because if they comment on another ad, right, and they're looking for something, click, delete, click, delete, click. Go away. Do you want a lawnmower or not? What are you shopping? First of all, you're not going to get a better lawnmower on Long Island than from me, period. Go find one in a garage sale that barely works that you're going to need to do everything I just did to this one. And you go do it yourself and see if you save any money, right? What is his best price? What does that mean? You want me to come down? And so if I list it for 100, are you still going to go best price? Sometimes they do. They're like $70. Click, delete. You're not a customer. That was what I was getting into. Now, let's just, before it gets too late, we got a little bit of half hour left-ish, because I'll do a 3 hour. I just want to go through, please, just then the new package, yeah. We have prime line parts at the store. That blade would be seven. Oh, nice. Brett knows the numbers and everything. Just want to show you guys a couple of links. Let me open up this before it gets too late. Let me get the links out and put them in here. So there's a couple of things I want to show you. Now this one here, it's a little pricey. Paste and go. And then let me open another link up. Just get all the links open. That way I can just roll right through them. And then one more link. And then I want to find the echo after we look at these. Fire it up! Now, like I was saying, let's kill this. Let's kill it. I'm coming back. Like I was saying, now Kenny had that issue, and you can have weird plug issues. Absolutely. You can also have issues with your coil, and you can't get at your coil. That's just what I'm really talking about. I'm like, you can't really get at your coil. Something's not right. And so you can start to track down problems that might otherwise be, very hard to find. And I've come across stuff like this. So I'm thinking about, well, what can I get? And this would be one of the last things on my list. But if every year you want to throw a little bit of money at the toolkit that you have, which is a good idea, and sort of up your game a little bit. Now let's check this spark checker out. Now this is pretty cool. You guys may have seen this one. So this one just kind of clips on, or you can hold it next to the plug wire or whatever. And what's kind of nice about this is it records whether or not you're getting spark. So if you can't get to the plug, for example, like you can't stand where you would be standing to pull start or to turn it on and see a conventional tester, spark tester, or just lay the plug on the engine head or something. You can't do that. You can't see it. You don't have any help. This thing will tell you with an LED whether it fired or it didn't fire. And it's kind of neat, the microcircuit design. Now, these are a little bit expensive. I didn't watch this video.
Having trouble starting your leaf blower, chainsaw, or other engine-powered product? Don't bust your knuckles trying to pull the wire or spark plug to check for spark.
Crappy lawnmower, crappy chainsaw alert.
Ignition analyzer. With its handy spring-loaded clip, simply place spark checker on the plug wire and then try to start the engine. One of 3 LEDs will instantly tell you if the ignition is working properly. Use spark checker on small engines or switch it over to use on bigger vehicles. Get yours today.
Get yours now. So I found it. Now, Amazon says they have it. Like this company says, if you click down to more information, user guide, contact us, right? I kind of breezed through it. So I found this company sells it. And so it's a $70 tool, but you can clip it on and walk away and come back to it. Because if you can't get to it to find the spark, you're kind of in trouble. You know, you have to call your neighbor over or something. And sometimes that gets played. So think about it. Like, it's $70. Can you find it on Amazon for cheaper? Maybe. I don't know. I just started looking at it today. I was on, I stopped in his show today while I was working. And, you know, I was like, what was that? And Wayne reminded me, because Wayne had said something on the last video that I did. And he says, you know, you might want to check out the stuff that Ken has. So I was like, I couldn't find it. It's just Spark Checker R. Spark Checker R. Maybe. So I thought that was kind of neat. And the other one I wanted to show you was this one. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's the Echo Coil or small engine coil tester. Yeah, it's the Echo. Yeah. This is also expensive. But, so the Echo PET 4000 EC spark tester, and I mentioned this in my video too, is that you can adjust this thing and cause if the coil is about to fail, the further, and I like the 3 adjustments too. Well, really it's 2. It's kind of neat. So if the coil is kind of going to fail, like, you can test it when the thing is cold. You can test it after it's been running. You can do like a 20, 30 thousandths gap, see how she's running, you know, figure out if, you know, with the plug in or out, you know, plug in the engine running or out. And then you could open all this stuff up and see, when does it not spark? When does it start to fail? And you can get pretty good with trying to figure out, is that coil bad? And especially when I'm talking about, you know, the coil in that blower is packed inside that case. The last thing you want to be doing is opening up that case, finding out maybe the coil is okay. You got to put all that back together again. And even if it's bad, and the customer says, I don't want an original coil, and you're like, I'm not putting a cheapy coil on here, because I've had problems with that. I'm not putting a cheapy coil on it. Well, I'm not spending the money on it. Give it back to me. Well, you got to put it all back together again. And that's a nightmare. And that's time wasted. So $65, but this is really well built. That cheap one that I showed on the video is cheap. It's cheapy cheap. I mean, I'm not really a big fan of like stupid cheap tools, because they kind of suck. I'd rather wait, and knowing that I won't use it that often, that's fine. But I'd rather wait, put it on a list, and be like, all right, maybe the day will come when I can afford this and I can add it to my kit. And of course, I showed the Lyle tool, which I think is a very nice general spark tester. And I was watching Musty One the other day. I think it was maybe even Thursday, and he had that ATV that was giving him problems. Now, it was a different issue. It was something he did wrong. He made a mistake. He didn't put the jet in and tighten it properly in the carburetor. And he owned up to it. He cheesed out. He just, I don't know, he got sidetracked, whatever. But at one point, his theory was maybe the coil isn't firing right. And he was looking at all of that, and he set up, basically, it's the Lyle tool. He has an older version of it. And he put it in line and started the machine up, and we could look at the firing of the coil with, visually. And we were, he was looking at it, and I'm looking at it, I'm going, I don't really see anything wrong. It seems to be following the engine RPM. And thus he concluded that I don't think there's anything wrong with the coil. It's got to be something else. Maybe we do. He didn't want to take the carburetor out because it's a pain in the neck. But that's kind of the idea, okay? You could put this or something else in line and maybe rule out a problem and then refocus your efforts on the thing that really may be causing the problem, which is what he did. So that Lyle tool was nice, but it's just a visual spark tester, which you can then run the engine and see. And the crappy Amazon ones, most people, I watched one review of a guy, he had it on a boat motor, on like a 4-cylinder boat motor, and he had 4 of them. And the engine's running fine, but you don't see a damn thing coming out of the spark tester. So there's that. All right, let me catch up with you guys. So it says, everybody says, hey to Backwoods. Brett says, we sold my nurse friend a nice Craftsman mower last year, and I sent her a video of a cold startup and showed the self-propelled in action. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, I use it as a sales tool. I put my link to my channel in my ads, and people do watch it. Like, they'll watch a little bit of it just to get a feel for what I do. And they don't watch all of it. They just look at it and they go, well, maybe the guy actually does work on these things and he's not lying. So that can be useful. Backward says, yeah, I had a busy evening. Sorry, I'm making it in at the end, but I'll watch replay. Cool. Yeah, Brett says he has the Lyle spark tester. Remember Lyle, fellas? It was like I said in the video, it was sort of the cheaper tool sets in the blister pack, hanging on the rack at the old school auto parts stores and everything. And I remember back then, I'm like, I like Lyle. Like I think I still have some Lyle stuff. I have actually an adapter for my compression gauges. I only get those. I just wanted to show you them. I wonder if I have that Lyle thing. Just let me go take a quick peek before I sign off. I haven't seen it. Yeah, and no, it's KD. No, it's KD. Hold on. No, it's a KD. Hold on, I'm coming. But you can hear something explode and drop and... So, I've got... Yeah. Because I did a lot of automotive in my day. I started off with small engines and little mini bikes and go-karts and all of that. But then I went to aircraft. And I also been building hot rods since my first car I built, I redid a 67 Mustang. And we were on austerity in those days in high school. For years, we had funding issues. And the teachers one had retired, so they had some new teachers. And I decided my last year to take auto shop. Because I took so many courses, by the way, fellas, all over the island. They used to bus me, that when I went to graduate, they said to me, we can't graduate you. I said, what the hell are you talking about? I said, I get good grades. I even go to summer school when I fail. I would fail courses like English and stuff so I could take it in summer school. Because you do it in like a quarter of the time and I can get a really good grade. And we didn't have summer school in our school system because we were broke. So I had to go to another school system, which was kind of close to my house, and I could meet new chicks. That's how I thought of it. And it's the summertime, so why not, right? So I took so many courses, and they were like, well, we didn't. I'm like, you guys let me do it. Obviously you had to authorize everything and bus me everywhere. They're like, yeah, we know. We'll figure it out. I'm like, well, what is the reason? Because no one ever took all of these courses. We never thought anybody would do anything like that. We never knew. I'm like, you tell me I'm like the only one that took all of these different things? They're like, yeah, pretty much. You're the only one that ever did anything like that. So we have to now go back through all the course curriculum and find out what the hell you did. We know what your grades are. We have to figure out. You name it. I mean, I took it. So we had no money. So I'm like, well, I'll fund the whole damn year. And because I worked 2 jobs. I was up in the morning and I would go to clean the donut shop, Dunkin' Donuts, and then at night I cleaned bathrooms and I worked on cars and I sold mini bikes and go-karts and lawnmowers, and I was always doing something. And I worked with my brother and I cleared snow and cut lawns, and so I'm like, I'll finance this, right? So I financed it and we built a 67 Mustang, and I didn't really know, like, I didn't know a lot of stuff, but that's how I started to really get into cars. Like, this is an old tool. I'm trying to see if there's a name on it. This is from back then, and I bought, it might be a KD tool. Let me show you, fellas. It's actually in pretty good shape, but I don't want to just keep using it, right? It's not getting light. And I'll do the other camera too. All right, this comes apart here, so you can put different tubes on it. And I try to keep it nice. Now I have a few fittings for the end. In fact, there's one here, which is a KD. It's still air hold fitting set. It's still, I never used it. I guess I bought it, and I have others. So I have adapters. It's not focusing for some reason. There's glare on it, but you get the idea. And then this was some other brand, but then I worked in HVAC. So this gauge goes up to, 500 pounds. So I worked in HVAC as well. And I'm like, well, I'll just pop a gauge on another one of these. And I sometimes use it to check, different things, whatever. But the gauge is a little too high. Okay. So the accuracy is not granular. It's not really granular in a sense. It's better for really high compression engines, but it's still not enough for a diesel. I mean, what's a diesel? 1,000 PSI? I don't even know what the hell they're at. I don't do enough diesel work. So these are nice and all, but I'm like, well, I really could use a decent but cheap gauge set with all of the fittings so I can do the smaller plugs. They're not really expensive. I don't need anything great. I just need all the different fittings, something I can knock around with. And if I ever question the gauge, if I don't ruin these, I can test the gauges, against each other. So that's my thinking in that. And I've been shying away from a lot of the two smokers. But I think we're coming into a time when you're going to see a lot of these. That was a 7-year-old Red Max. So I like a lot of 10-year-old, 15-year-old stuff. And I think we're coming into a time when some people are going to want these things fixed. If they're willing to pay for it, then I'll do it. But it can't just be your average consumer, because they won't pay for it. So I was like, well, I don't think I want to do anything with two-stroke anymore. I have plenty of other projects to do. I like bigger I want to get into some bigger machines. But it's still a conundrum. Some of these cheap lawnmowers now are coming out with even smaller plugs and crappy designs. So there's something to think about there, is adding some ignition testers, a nice compression gauge with all the fittings for these crappy new plug setups, and not spending a lot of money. But at the same time, I don't want crap. Crap is crap. So not buying the Amazon cheapy knockoff, but trying to find a better solution. I think now coming up, I don't actually need this on. I'm not going to play anything else. We're almost ready to leave. I think coming up is, I have a couple of companies that hit me up, LED bulbs for like anything, and including things like tractors and cars. And I think it was Robert, right? Robert's been working on I forget his channel name. He's been working on his headlight assemblies and everything, and polishing them up and replacing them. And he asked in one of his other videos, I think it was a short or whatever, he was having some problems with putting some of these LED bulbs in and replacing them, so he went back to the incandescent. Yeah, and I'd like to sort that out. I know a lot of people have problems in their trucks and their cars, etc. There's different ones. There's little things you can put in. They don't blink right. They don't blink at the right rate. I know there's a lot of issues with that. So I don't actually, off the top of my head, have all the solutions, because I guess it depends upon what bulb you put in, what's going on, what kind of flasher, what is the exact scenario. I thought, well, maybe I'll work with this company. Maybe we'll see what bulbs they have. I'll start off with outfitting my van and my tractor and a few other things and see what they do. And then I got hit up with another company that does lithium batteries, which are expensive. And that's something that I think, not so much for the cars, because those lithium batteries are really expensive, but for like some of the smaller tractors, because I already use AGM and batteries and things like that that are a little bit more expensive than a standard lead acid battery. And the specs are a little different, but they work really well. And I've been very happy with them. And you don't need a particular company as long as the manufacturer builds it decent to spec. I haven't had any issues yet. So I thought, well, maybe going to a Li-I, that might be kind of neat, because they really do deliver a lot of power, and you don't have to worry about them, and they can stay in any position. So like for a snapper, you could leave your battery and put it up on its butt, and you don't take the battery out. Not that it matters, but I think they just tend to work better. And for my UPSs, right, I did some gel cells. I never showed that video that I made, but I did the standard gel cell style batteries. They're like the AGM type kind of, but they're for battery backup systems for supplying power. But they don't have the same kind of power that a Li-I has. So your run time is going to change. So if power goes out here and I'm in the middle of this, the last thing I want to have happen is, or if I'm encoding a video, I really don't want the whole system to crash, because that can screw up your whole computer system. What you want to do is a soft put down, like a soft power down. Alarms go off, which is usually what happens, and if I'm sitting at it, I'll power it down. If not, one of the systems I have sends a signal to everything and shuts all the applications down. I can override it if I'm sitting here, and does a graceful shutdown, because computers are very vulnerable. Having that extra runtime, and if you wanted to, really, if you have enough battery and you have a little solar power panel up there on the roof, and you have a charger or whatever, I could run a lot of this stuff. When we had Hurricane Sandy, basically that was a nightmare. It was 2 weeks without power. I had internet, and I actually ran the computer for a while. So let me catch up to you guys. Eric says, hey, Arch, it's cold up here. Sure could use a cool sweatshirt like that. Yeah, right? So once again, big shout out to TJ. Uncle Mark says, hey, Eric, it's 28 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah, where are you? I'm 22, bros. I'm 22. Can you imagine? I think my sugars are going a little bit low, which is good, because in a little bit I'm going to sign off. I'm going to go get some turkey and some of that pie. Let me just pop a half a sugar pill. It's weird because, in a good way, I'm becoming sensitive to insulin. Still getting these sugar peaks, but I'm getting better sleeping at night. I'm having to reduce my insulin, because in the middle of the night, sometimes I have to get up and take some sugar, but I'm not crashing, because most diabetics die when that happens. They don't actually wake up. Like the signal isn't there to tell them to wake up. If it doesn't happen fast enough, the sugar will crash, their brain goes off, their heart stops, and they're dead. So I'm getting way more sensitive to the insulin I take, and I've had to notch my doses back. I'm not eating as much, but like I just had There's applesauce. There's sugar in the apples, but I bet you they put some in. I did inject before I started tonight because I ate. But there's no sugar in the coffee, and this is just water with lemon or lime. And I had some crackers, which, by the way, these crackers, even like the Ritz, they're loaded. I guess corn syrup. I could only have a few of those at a time because I'll actually see my sugar go up to like 400. Yeah, TJ says, yeah. Eric's in Ontario. Yeah. Ever thought of Arch's Garage merch? Yeah, I thought of it, but like my daughter and I were talking about it because she moved out. But she's still thinking about it. And like I was telling TJ, I'm like, because I'm not a particularly good designer, I don't have all those skills. I'm already overwhelmed with the channel. I started a live show. I try to put a lot of time into it, and I get very busy, and then I get really tired. And it's not actually a skill that I have. Like, I can design stuff, yes, but I struggle with it. It's the same thing with thumbnails and titles. I'm not particularly good at that. Like, I'm struggling to learn a title and a thumbnail. And that's a design thing. Like, I agonized over, the iconography for Arch's Garage, and he put this together, and like he took it off of the internet. He basically took it off my channel because he was asking me, he's like, "Don't you have a picture or anything?" I don't know if I sent him something or whatever. I'm like, but I don't have the transparency and I don't have all the dimensions because my buddy Matt, who was on here a couple of weeks ago and the one that got me the headset, that's one of his skills, and he actually went to school for it. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, there's free stuff online. Let me give you the link." And I'm like, "Oh, my God, I'm overwhelmed," right? And he's like, "No, it's easy. Just do this and click. And how about that? And how about that? And how about that?" And all of a sudden, all these pictures started coming at me. I'm like, whoa. It takes me a long time to process that stuff because I agonize over stupid details. And creative people don't really do that necessarily. Creative people tend to come out with the bigger view, the bigger picture, and they kind of know. Like, for example, color coordination. Okay? I can't color coordinate to save my life. I get colors. I've even been to school a little bit and taken some art courses, and I get it, And I'm like, look at, like, colors. My daughter will say to me, she goes, "That's clashing." I'm like, what does that even mean? Well, it's all gray. She's like, "No, you can't do that. You can't do that gray with that gray." I'm like, "But it's gray, right? Does it matter?" She's like, "Yeah, it matters. You can't do that." I'm like, "Well, how about this?" I'm like, I'm like, you could put red over gray, but if you don't do it right, it clashes. And to her, she's like, you can't do it like that. Like, I don't get it. So those skills I struggle with. And tell me if you guys struggle with you YouTubers. Like, what do you think about when you go to do a thumbnail? What goes through your mind? Even the title. I mean, some titles are self-explanatory, and you can kind of Google it, and there's tips and tricks, and there's utilities that you can use, like TubeBuddy, and it'll help you with that. Or you can use AI, right? But thumbnail. By the way, people are starting to use AI for thumbnails, too. Let's see. Yeah, TJ, it does look good. Yep. There it is. -5. Oh, my God. Mark says, -2. Bleach is 28. Yeah, I'm colder than Bleach. Eric says, it's all good. Watching the best show on YouTube. Happy Thanksgiving to all my... Yes. Yeah, we already went through that earlier, Eric. Happy Thanksgiving to you. Yeah, that was good. It was definitely good. Like I said, that cake, that pie is still there. I think maybe she might have had it. If not, then I'll just stick with the turkey and some trimmings, just a little bit. That she moved the turkey downstairs. It was in the back room because it was cold. And like right around dinner time, I don't know what possessed it, but she moved it downstairs. And the refrigerator downstairs. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm tired right now. I don't feel like going back down there. Right? And she wanted me to help her with this tree that she bought. And she didn't really want. I did it because she was so happy. And then I was like, and then I'm cooking eggs. She's like, why are you cooking? She goes, you're cooking eggs because you don't want to go downstairs and lift the turkey and bring it back up. I'm like, yep. I'm like, I don't know why you moved it down there. I guess because she left the door open to the house and it was getting warm in there. He goes, it's all good, Eric says. Watching the best show. Well, Mark says, fixing the channel is an interesting live stream. Thanks, Mark. Brett says, I noticed Tao uses green, black, and white a lot in his goodies. Yeah, because those are really good colors. Yup. But he has people, like he's got his son, his friends. They all brainstorm. You know, that's one of the reasons why his show is so good. Now, I'm going to let you in on a secret. And this is my own personal secret. It is not to say anything bad about Taro's show. I don't actually like a lot of the skits. I'm weird like that, okay? They're good, and I do watch them from time to time. But Taro is funny, and he's a damn good mechanic. And a lot of times, what'll happen is he'll be working on something that I actually want to see. And I get impatient. And to me, Taro himself is funny. Like, I like the whole crew. I do, and I have watched a number of his skits. But I get impatient. And like I said, he's entertaining. I feel entertained by him anyway. This is his general attitude. So I'm not missing out. I'm like, I want to see Taro. Like I said, he's a damn good mechanic. I actually want to see what the hell he's doing. And then maybe I'll come back and I'm like, all right, I feel guilty now. I'll go watch some of the other skits because the boys are fun and entertaining and they work really hard on that show. It's not to take anything away from him. But like I said, I really just want to see what the hell he's doing because I enjoy that. I'm like a nuts and boltsy kind of person. I don't know how they do all of that stuff. He dresses up like that when he goes to these shows and everything else. And sometimes I think it actually is him. Like he actually doesn't have, like long hair and messed up teeth. And, I don't know. Slippers does crack me up. Yeah. I've watched pretty much all of the skits, but like I said, I get impatient. And I'm like, damn it, I just want to see what Taro's doing on this stupid thing. Yeah, he's fun. Nobody's like him, But you don't have to be like that. You could just do your thing. I mean, you watch some of his older videos as he was forming the early years of the show, and a lot of it really started to come together quick. Like, I think once he figured out, because he's a damn good mechanic, right? So he got all that down. He's got the shop and all of that. But I think once he started to formulate really where he was going with the whole thing and the scheme and the camera work got better and the cameras got better, that's when I think he really deserved it because it really took off. But the earliest stuff was definitely cruder and he was not as good. And that's the point. It's like when you first start doing this, it's like I said in a live stream a while back, it's like you're the guy that all of a sudden decides that you cleared out a room in the basement and you told your wife that you're going to learn how to play drums and guitar and you bought all the stuff and she's like, and you're down there making all this noise and everybody in your family tells you suck at it. And then after like a few months of doing it, you decide to take your guitar, go stand on the corner, sit on the corner, open up your box, right, your guitar case, and hoping money, start playing, like practicing your horrible sounds and expecting that people will put money in your guitar case. And that's YouTubers. That's what nobody in their right mind would do that except for a YouTuber. A YouTuber will do that. They will start their show. It will suck. And potentially the whole world could see it, but people will see it and you're like that guy that just started playing guitar and he's doing it now in front of people. Just nobody but a YouTuber would do anything like that. Tao has been mechanic for well over 40 years, yeah. Well, that's like a lot of us, right? We've been working as a mechanic or whatever for a long time. Bleach says, what do you think of my channel analysis? Anything I can improve? Oh, yeah, there's all tons of stuff you can improve, but you have to pick something. Because are you talking more lately? Because you've been doing it for years, and I went back at some of your older videos, and they cracked me up, some of them. But it's different content, right? So you're like a moving target. And if you're a moving target, you can't look at any one thing and go, well, you can improve that, because you may not do it again, right? So you have to look at a consistent target and then say, all right, what am I trying to do with this video? What do I want to be? What do I want to focus on? And then when you get that, and you do that for a little bit, then you can then look at it and go, all right, what can I improve? Right. So I think if you probably need to pick a subject because I don't know, YouTubers, I think in general, the audience out there, one, it's the audience is not sure what your channel is. And two, I think it is YouTube, which is really, like I said, is your enemy and your advantage. It's not other YouTubers. YouTube doesn't know what. YouTube has a hard time figuring out what some channels are. Like it doesn't really know where to put you in the mix or me. Because when I do, and I've listened to a lot of YouTubers talk about this. They said I tried this thing out on YouTube and my videos were going good, and I tried this other thing and it just dipped right down. Nobody watched it. Nobody existing wanted to watch it, and YouTube didn't know where to put it because it's comparing it against the other stuff that you do. Whereas if that person did that one different thing as a brand new YouTube channel, it might have actually gotten views. But because YouTube's algorithm is looking at it and they're going, oh, this person does this and they do this, which is attached to that, which is like that, which is like that. What the hell is this? I don't know what to do with that. And the people that are watching you go, I don't know what the hell to do with that. So it takes this huge dive and you as the YouTuber going, well, that didn't fly. Well, it might have if you started a whole new channel on that, but your audience and YouTube got confused. And so it took a shit. So it doesn't make it bad. It's just a thing, you know? So what do you think of my channel? Bleach says, Uncle Addy is funny. Yes, Arch is funny. Oh, yeah, Arch, everyone has their own style, their own niche to speak. Yeah, Brett says, yep. Bleach says, no, really how more of the reality shows small engine lawnmowers. How to more of a reality show on a small engine. Yeah, because it is kind of a reality show. Like a lot of what I try to do is sort of I think of it as an infomercial in a way. I used to like watching infomercials and documentaries. So I think of, well, those, and I can't really do that, but I think of it. And I go, all right, that's kind of neat. That kind of subject matter is kind of neat. That kind of presentation is neat. But what I really would like to do is, so basically when you look at YouTube, there's two types of scenarios for any videography. There is a topic, and then there's a story. All right, so a topic could be anything. Me talking about this Echo Pet 4000. That's a topic. And you can make a video on that and keep it a topic. Part of what Carol does is a story. He puts characters into a story. And then he does this story thing. And then it kind of, as an offshoot, or sometimes even weaves into a topic. So the topic of the video is, this mystery machine doesn't work, I can't get parts. Somehow the story in the beginning is people come in, he's sitting there, somebody brings this mystery box, you know, that's the story. So he's actually trying to meld two ways of a presentation, standard style presentation stuff. You go to school for it, learn how to write a story, learn how to write on a topic, right? You want to be a newspaper reporter? What kind of newspaper reporter do you want to be? Do you want to write a story, or do you want to write on a topic? All right. The weather today was 43 degrees. It dropped to 23 degrees. By tomorrow, it'll be 50 and sunny. That's a topic. The topic is the weather. There's no story in it. The story might be how the weather plummeted and the snow came and everything fell apart and this family got stuck on the side of the road. They were in peril. People that tried to help them, they got stuck too. The military had to fly in people. There were no resources. I mean, now it's getting, you're really telling a story. There's real subjects and everything. The topic might be the weather caused all of this, but you really have woven a story. And you have to decide, right, for every kind of thing that you want to look at, is this just a topic? How do I make that topic presentation clean, sweet, and nice? And if you want to add humor into it, well, now you're complicating it. And before I leave, I just want to mention, right? Why do I always slip his name? The guy that does all the generators. Okay, what's his name again, fellas? And well, I'll check on you guys. Mark says, I have to go. Thanks for the stream. No problem, Mark. Got the notification, so I jumped on as soon as it notified me. At least now the note feature works. Good to go. Bleach says, I'm confused too in my videos. Yeah, and it shows. Yep. Eric says, has a great one. Yeah, James, whatever his name is. Says, see you, Eric. Have a great weekend, guys. Bleach. Brad says, yeah, James Condon. Now, before I go, I'll just mention, so let me critique James Condon. All right. So James Condon obviously is some kind of a mechanic. I don't know all that much about him. I'm just going to critique on the basic. Some kind of mechanic because he has mechanical ability. He's not a dweeb that can't do anything mechanical, which isn't fair because that's not fair to say that. That's not nice. He's not somebody that's like all thumbs. So he's got mechanical ability. At some point, I've heard him say this. He says, I saw that I wanted to learn some information about generators, and I saw that it was underserved on YouTube. Well, that's brilliant. Now, for him, for a personal point of view, is that to him at the time, it was underserved and he wanted to know more. Then the light bulb went off, and he said, holy shit, I could do this. It's underserved. Why don't I try doing this? But I don't know very much about generators. And unlike that other fellow that I said was from the UK earlier, who tried to come from a point of authority, he didn't. He said, I don't really know, especially in the beginning, but let's find out. And even these days, if he doesn't really know, he'll mention that. So his authority lies elsewhere. He's not projecting it. He's not coming off and trying to fool somebody. So that's authentic. Now, he doesn't have a big personality, and he's actually a quiet guy. He's actually very soft-spoken, but he's soft-spoken. So there's no comedy. There's no real funniness, but he's soft-spoken. But what did he do from the beginning? Two things. Three. One, he was genuine. So he presents the show well. His audio is clear. Like, even though he's soft-spoken, he always captured his audio really good. And then even when he was working on the ground, he always got the camera angles. I mean, he just wouldn't shoot the shot. That camera was always looking at what he was talking about, and his audio could be heard, and it was clear, and it was mixed well. You didn't even see him. And even when he was outside, he still managed to get that balance right. So it didn't matter that he didn't know everything or come as a point of authority. It was genuine. He didn't need to be funny. He's not a particularly funny guy. He's very, soft, like I said, soft-spoken and like very even keel. A lot of people like that. They don't actually want humor or anything like that, and they just want to see what the guy is doing. He shows it. So, and then he had the brilliant idea of realizing that this is an underserved part of YouTube, and if I do this, maybe it'll work. So that is the basics of topic-oriented, stay on point, get the shots, have your audio good, don't allow shots that don't work, don't allow when the audio sucks. The lighting is good. It's gotten better. Everything has just gotten better. And so he kind of set certain bars pretty high from the beginning. I mean, there's no wonder why he did well. He didn't make a lot of those common mistakes going right into it. He skipped a lot of that. And so he deserves it. And from there, he got even better. Now, you can't change this man's personality, so if you want somebody funny, go watch Tarot, right? But you're going to learn a lot, and I watch him from time to time. I don't do a lot of generator work. We don't get a lot of it around here. It's kind of hard to do, and it's expensive, right? Yeah, Brett says he watches Stella, too. Now, Stella's different. By the way, Stella's been in the field, right? She's been in the fields of entertainment and whatever, and videos and film or whatever. So she's around like kind of communications, and she's got a really nice personality. But she was saying that she's been trying to make her videos shorter and shorter, which meaning that they're more concise and very, very topic driven. And it's deliberate and honing her skill set. So she's got a focus and a vision going in because she learned a lot of that in her experiences, professionally speaking. And then she has a good personality and she's a good mechanic. But she has an animated personality. She's got a lot of personality. Which that makes things a lot easier for the rest of us to watch her. I like being on her lives. I think Ken gets mad because I think one day he said something to me because I was on. I jumped on like her live like right away, and it just happened to fall into place because usually I work on Saturdays, and I can't really make it to the other lives because like I'm working, I'm doing stuff. You know, I just can't. I usually sit in the background and listen and make my stupid comments, which is enjoyable for me. I would say, 60s. Yeah, Stella's probably in her 60s. Late 50s, very early 60s. You know, it's hard to say because remember, women don't age the same way we do. I don't know if she has any kids or whatever, but, you know, marriage, kids, children, life struggles, whatever. And just the way you look in general. She doesn't look bad or anything, you know. I'm sure if you put some makeup on her and stuff, that's the other thing too, is that she doesn't oversell anything. She doesn't come across. She doesn't try. We were talking about that, like somebody that we know that puts a lot of the, you know, somebody that I'm not going to say who it is, but somebody that we know that does this. That there's a lot of Daisy Dukage and a lot of cleavage, and she's like, I won't do any of that. And we were actually offline, like off live, just like, you know, hanging out, zooming, and she went like that, and we were like, whoa. You could do that. She's like, I won't do this. I'm not doing that. I'm like, good for you, girl. You know, because she doesn't need to, right? It stands on her own merit. And her channel is consistently growing. And she offers good content, but it is topic driven. I've tried to incorporate this other weird shit in my video. And a lot of people are not going to like that, but I like doing it. You know, it's like, it's the kind of thing where some of it's got to be your hobby. You got to enjoy doing this, especially if you're going to do a lot of it. You better figure out how to enjoy it. So I've always wanted to do something like this long before anything like this was around. And I went to school for some of it. And I was like, now I'm going to do it. I'm like, well, how do I incorporate multiple camera angles? And I love the technology, and I love all the button pushing things. And, you know, I got all these flashy buttons. Well, they don't flash for me, but they flash for the screen. And I love computers and technology, and I love all this stuff. And I wouldn't be happy if I just limited it to a cell phone. It's not that there's anything wrong with it. That's a great way to do topic-oriented, drill right in. But I want to fool around. I want to have some fun. I want to see if I can push the boundaries a little bit, even if I get less views. I mean, I want the views, and that's fine, and the money is important because I'm broke. But you got to enjoy what you're doing, fellas. So I'm going to leave you on that one. However, if whoever's watching it in the future, whatever, if you're a YouTuber, find the piece of it that's work and find the piece of it that's fun. And like I often say, is that what I do with YouTube and for a living, some of it's my hobby, some of it's the business, and I often get confused as to which one is which. I'll see you guys in the next episode of Arch's Garage. And thanks for hanging out. And TJ, again, thanks for the swag. The swag, fellas. This is awesome, right? I was like so happy. I'll see you guys later. Get it!